Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Slow Your Roll. I'm Cody.
I'm Alex.
And today we are doing what may likely be the final episode of our duo campaign with DC20, Celestia's Call. I'm going to give a quick recap, and right about now I'll be putting on screen, if you want to skip the recap and just get into the episode, it'll be at this time right here. Okay, but anyway, the quick recap for those that want it. Let's see here. I'm going to give kind of a whole overview. So we are following the story of Zephyrian, a child of a powerful celestial woman and a equally powerful dragonborn paladin man. And you have come into this world and you've been kind of hunted by both of their factions your whole life. And suddenly, while you're just nomadically traveling as you do, you notice a very strange, just falling star in the distance and a companion that's been with you for as long as you can remember. A small spectral dragonette that kind of lives in the Pokeball-like dimension that is your amulet. Your dragonette just kind of started freaking out at this falling star, and that began your journey to find out what is actually going on with this. You ventured forth, you encountered 3 kobolds in the desert, and kind of persuaded them that you are a representative of sorts for the dragon Pyrothrax, who they seem to just kind of worship anyway, and you fooled them, hook, line, and sinker. There's even a point where a dragon is visible in the sky very distantly, and so they are wholeheartedly following you with their lives and commitment, and they believe completely that you represent all that is Pyrothrax, and so they kind of worship you almost in the same sense. So they have been following you around like little dragon children, sort of. And so you eventually you encountered several people along your way, but one of the biggest things that happened, there was an event where you obtained a very special token of sorts, and it allows you to not be corrupted by the star's power. You also learned that there is an evil person that is pursuing the star as well for its power, and that if the wrong person gets a hold of the star, they have the power to bend reality to their will, essentially. And you've even encountered your own mother and father in like visions, and several encounters there. They talked with you and kind of coaxed you through this, like how, you can do it, you're the best, you have to do it. And they're alongside you in your amulet, and they seem to be, like the whole dragonette situation seems to be an embodiment of their presence with you. So, you finally make your way to the final, seemingly the final resting place of this star, and you're trudging through a marshy-like area. You eventually see a hillbilly of sorts, kind of hanging out at the front of his cabin, and he talks to you for a second. He's like, yeah, things are really weird, things are crazy, and then you actually see like his whole cabin just kind of gets like blasted away, and just a radiant shard of energy kind of like pierces him, and he drops to the ground, and you see a very ominously evil figure and a few of his minions, henchmen if you will. And you venture to guess this is the evil that you've been warned about under the name of Archon Malachi. So, here's the timestamp you skipped to, everyone. Let's begin. You are in this marshland of sorts. The cabin just explodes, and now you are there. It's sort of face to face. There's a lot of like obstructions. There are bushes and small trees. Several areas in this map will have cover and even difficult terrain and things like that, as you might expect to see them. So, that's enough talking for me. What do you do now?
Well, to start off, as far as what I would do to, like, I guess, start the initiative, I would likely just duck behind the tree that's right next to me, especially if I'm already, like, kind of in the way or under fire.
Okay, sounds good. So I will make it so that you are, in fact, able to duck directly behind that bush there, maybe even on this square.
Nice, thank you. Need a little bit of cover.
And that is also going to be your initiative roll. So go ahead and roll a stealth check for your initiative check. And feel free to roll with whatever you think. Maybe if you command the kobolds even to do something specific, a check for them as well.
For my stealth check, luckily for me, it's a -1, so that should go well.
Good. Perfect.
So that was a 2 for my stealth roll there. So technically a 1.
Excellent.
And if I was going to command the kobolds, I'd probably say something even mentally. I've been doing that as much as I can to not give away our strategies and positions.
Right.
But I would say to them mentally, just get down.
Okay, very good.
Maybe they would, hide like I did, but better.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, we will say regardless that they are able to move maybe behind this bush here, something like that. And yeah, we'll have you make a stealth check for each of them, even to see if any of you clear the encounter DC.
We got a 14, a 9, and a 10.
Okay. Okay, so unfortunately none of you did. The DC was pretty high at this one. Archon and his group already seem to be pretty actively and adamantly pursuing forward, and it seems they've already developed a plan, so the DC was 18. So they will be acting first.
To be fair, a group of blue and red lizards probably stick out like a sore thumb in all this green.
Yes, and I will say that none of you actually managed to legitimately hide, but you all have really like full cover technically right now.
Nice.
So most bushes and things on the map will provide at a minimum of half cover, but there's going to be a lot of cover thrown around most likely throughout this encounter. So
sounds good to me.
Okay, so Mr. Archon is going to actually act first, and then it will just be staggered turns from there for the most part.
Okay, sure.
And depending on how this goes, that might get a little confusing. You'll see what I mean here. So Archon is going to spend an action point of his own to move up here, kind of also hunkered behind the bushes more directly, so he has cover himself. And then he is going to spend his actions to command a minion to move as well, similar to some of like the warlord-like abilities you've seen. And he's going to get stuck right in the river because that'll be like 2 spaces to move through the river, as it is difficult terrain technically. Okay. So he's hunkered down right there for now. There is a small like tent between that minion and you guys. Mm-hmm. That I would say you have a like relatively clear line of sight. It's going to be like a half cover situation there.
That makes sense. Tent's at least like 4 feet tall.
Right, exactly. So, but there is a little bit of line of sight, so like you can actually see this guy as he's moving up there. Archon is going to spend another of his own actions to like he seems to be actually like even transferring this weird like energy to this person, like visibly. It's not just a matter of like, hey, go get him. It's like he's hardly even talking to them, if saying anything at all. And you see like there's literal like some weird energy flowing out from him to his minion. And you see his minion quickly grab a short bow off of his back. And he's going to, using Archon's actions, take a shot at you with a short bow.
And I have half cover because of the tent. Okay.
Yep. So you've got a +2. It's only a 5, so definitely missed you there. And then Archon, ironically for his last action, he is going to, let's see, he moved 2 spaces. He's going to, what would he do? He's actually going to spend his next action just to move a little bit closer to, it's like getting out of cover, moving a bit closer to the star, as he's essentially right next to it, or at least the crater that you see there, kind of thing.
Definitely. And as far as the crater goes, it looks like there's maybe some dirt piled up around it. Is that enough for him to have like half cover or something? I'll make it half cover. Definitely not full cover, but yeah, he's able to kind of like, crouch down, half cover based on the crater, I would say. Okay, definitely.
But that is it. So your team is up next with whoever rolled highest initiative, I suppose.
So mine was 2. It's definitely not me. But So one of these little kobold guys, I'm gonna say Soot Snout because he's like the fighter. I'll say that he was the 14, the middle was the 9, and then the end was the 10, just to make it like all right in a row.
Cool.
Okay, so Soot Snout, the first one, he's going to be moving up a little bit. Honestly, just kind of getting to me. And I looking right now. Got 1, 4. That's 20 feet of movement for 1 action point that Soot Snout's got. He's kind of next to me. Are these bushes here too dense for him to go into, or like trees?
I would say that he'd be able to, and it'd just be difficult terrain.
Okay. Just for his safety, I'm going to put him right in there for like a whole nother action point, difficult terrain, getting through there.
Cool.
And then that's good for him.
Excellent. And that'll be like a full cover for him as well.
Okay, cool. And these guys only have 2 action points, I believe. So going on to the next one, I don't know. I don't think they would really push the assault. So I might keep these 2 just kind of like over here, you know what I mean? Just like behind cover, but it looks like as soon as something comes in, we can get close enough to fight. So I think the kobolds will actually stay back because they're not usually like the frontliners anyway.
I see what you're saying. You know, I didn't think about it, but it's actually like evened out in numbers. So we should probably like have them all act independently just because it'll end up really smooth in the turn order that way.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you're good. I just thought about it.
I'm just going to put them right back to where they are supposed to go, I believe, right here.
Yeah, something like that. No problem.
Yeah. Okay. Then that is the end. That's going to be the end of Soot Snout's turn. What do you got next for me?
We will take the minion that has already moved and give him some more stuff to do here. So he's going to spend some action points to actually move out of there. So that's 2 spaces to just get there, technically. Let's see. He's going to shift around along the trail, trying to get an eye at you, but really he can't with the first action point. So he's going to even spend another one to get right up next to you. All personal and such. And then you see him brandish a like scimitar-like short sword mixture. And it's like it's a good looking blade. It's like all Damascus steel looking and it looks crazy. And then he kind of just like swipes his hand over it real quick. And as his hand swipes over it, you see it kind of like lightly seem to be like enchanted with some sort of magic. That's kind of just like a glowy magic. And you almost see like sparkles coming off of it before he actually, swings at you to attack with it.
Okay. Oh, I guess I'll find out in a minute. But if it happens to be radiant damage, I might have some problems.
Okay. Okay. So it's a 17.
Ooh. Okay. That definitely.
It is radiant damage, but it is only 1 damage by default.
Not bad. Are we going against my physical defense? I'm gonna assume.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So I have holy vulnerability 1.
It would be your mystical defense, actually. I forgot.
Oh, really?
Yep, there's like the slash of the weapon almost doesn't even feel like you don't even feel the impact of the weapon itself. It seems to like hit you with like the energy as like a barrier almost. And so the sword in this case seems to be just a tool to carry the energy. So it would be against your mystical defense as it is just radiant damage.
That's actually much better for me. I do have Holy Weakness 1, but they need to beat a 15 for mental defense on a Scion. So they only beat it by 2.
Okay, nice. Okay, so it would be 1 damage, and I suppose the vulnerability just bumps it up 1 more, pretty much.
Yep.
Okay, so it's just 2 radiant damage that you take there, and then that minion is done with his turn anyway.
Okay, definitely. Moving right on to Glimmerclaw. We're going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. I would like to move that 20 feet with the 1 action point that he's got. And he's going to make 1 quick swipe against this guy right over here.
Yes, with a +2 flanking advantage there.
Ah, that's absolutely right. Thank you for mentioning. That's a D100. I did not roll a 66.
Well, you killed him.
Right. But I did roll a natural 1.
Oh, no.
I know, right?
Okay, so unfortunately that At least the first attack misses.
That's got to be the end of his turn.
Okay. Basically, you'll just start to see, it looks like all the rest of the minions that are hanging out towards the back. They all kind of move up at least a little bit further. And they also seem to spread out a bit. So the one moves up to the river and then takes a full dodge action. That's it.
Nice. Okay. So right on next to the kobold here, he's also going to be moving forward if it's his turn. Okay, perfect. Got 1, 2, 3 spaces, so technically there's more movement. He's also going to try to take a swipe at this guy here. He doesn't have a flanking bonus, I don't think.
He actually does, as long as it's not someone that's right next to him. But if there's someone else that's a friendly around the enemy in any other square, then it is a +2 flanking bonus.
That's awesome. Then he takes a quick swipe at him with an 18 to hit.
Okay, the 18 definitely hits. In fact, it's a heavy hit. So what would the damage be on that one?
Excellent. It was just 1 base damage for their claws.
All right, so that bumps it up to 2 damage there with the heavy. Excellent. So he swipes at this kind of like thieves leather like robe wearing character and kind of like rips through it a little bit. And you see that the spot that ripped where should be flesh kind of just is like this weird just like energy kind of just like poofs out of the leathers, and it seems to look a lot like the energy that Archon was like, you know, kind of like pushing towards the minions when he was helping to command them around.
Okay. It's not blood, but it works.
Yep. If it radiates, we can kill it.
That is going to be the end of his turn. He used 1 action point to move and 1 action point to attack.
Okay.
Now let's see what we've got.
Now, what I intended to have happen, I'll do again.
Okay.
So we'll have that guy move there, this guy move here. Okay, and then they will use the rest of their actions to take full dodge actions as well. Dang it, I did it again. I was only supposed to move 1. I keep forgetting. Okay.
Okay.
That is hilarious. It's like my brain is so wired to just run minions like that.
Right.
And I definitely still could. It'll just space it out more evenly this way if we don't, so.
Yeah.
Okay,
but
so.
Is that going to be the end of the minion's turn with a full dodge action?
Yep, just moving and then just being, you know, like all dodgy and stuff. So, yep, that's it for them.
Excellent. So what you're saying is they're not a problem right now.
Yes, exactly.
If it is Zephyrian's turn, he's going to activate the fire shield first and foremost. And the fire shield has a chance to get some extra health a part of it as well. So long as I roll just a little bit higher than 15.
Yep, that's right.
So, DC 15 spell check. Let's see what we got. Natural 20, dude.
Oh my gosh, that's big.
And technically a 24.
Oh, that's huge.
So,
is there anything in the rules for a natural 20 for Fire Shield? Or like in the description of Fire Shield anyway?
Nope. Unfortunately, it's just you gain 3 temporary HP, and with each success, it's 1 more temporary HP.
Okay, well, I'm going to treat it the same way that damage works, because it works, like, otherwise the mechanics of the spell are the same as the way that damage works, so.
Okay.
So, how many is it above, first off?
So I would gain 3 temporary HP and 1 temporary HP, and I was 1 short of getting my second one.
Okay, so because it's... So we'll just treat it the same as damage, right? So because it's a crit, it's like an automatic +2 on top of, you know, the normal additive. So it was just a +1. Because it's a crit, I'll give you 2 more. We'll just treat it the same that damage works. So you've got however much that is.
So +2 more temporary HP or +2 to my roll?
+2 more temporary HP.
Awesome. So that would actually be +6 temporary HP altogether.
Okay. Yep. That sounds right.
Dude, that's awesome. Heck yeah.
That is so sick. I really like the idea too that narratively you're like, you know, you've got the fire shield ready, right? And when you just like pump this thing up, you're like, man, this is the time. Like, this is the fight. It all comes down to this. And I like the idea of like maybe your dragonette actually even like surrounds you, and the fire shield like becomes the color of the dragonette for a moment. That
would be cool. It's not a red fire, it's a blue fire.
Yeah. You feel like your parents are with you, you know? Yeah, it's epic.
Heck yeah. And, well, after activating the fire shield, that cost me 2 AP and 1 MP. So that's my 1 MP for the turn. I'm going to go ahead and take that off real quick. Now, with 2 AP left over, time to fight.
Yep.
I have a trident with the versatile capabilities, actually. And I'm going to two-hand that bad boy with an empowered strike and just try to drive that right into him.
Let's see it, man. This is going to be good. You've got a +2 from flanking as well.
Excellent.
No, you have a +4 from flanking.
Even better.
Big potential for this one.
7 + 4 plus another 4. All right. 15.
Nice. Okay, 15 does cut it.
Oh, wait a minute. Empowering the strike actually made it advantage.
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
One more time.
Okay, so it was 15. Okay, right. So 15 is enough for a normal hit.
Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and plunge that trident like straight into its chest. And it should deal 1 extra damage when I'm wielding it with 2 hands. So that'll be 2 damage.
Excellent. Okay.
Actually, it's 3 damage. My fault. It's 2 damage normally, 3 damage two-handed.
Yes, excellent. For anyone that's coming back to this episode, I know that the beta's out now, and I think damages are a little bit different. So technically, we're just going to finish this campaign off with the 0.7 rules just to make it consistent.
Technically, it's 0.6 rules because that's when the Scion was.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
yep,
so
you're right.
We're a little bit outdated specifically for this campaign, but it won't be too long.
Yeah, exactly. Just wanted to see it through with consistency anyway. But yeah, very good stuff. Yeah. Okay, so that was a big hit. So when you do that, again, when the prongs of the trident just like jam into this creature, what you're expecting to be a relatively just kind of like, icky mess, again, is just like almost just like spurts of radiant energy seem to just like burst forth out of this creature's form. And you see the whole thing kind of almost just like shimmy uncomfortably for a second, and it seems to be, as far as whatever this form can be, is, looking injured. It looks quite injured at this point.
Good.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. Like, I'm just like kind of curious, like, when I just shove it in his chest and then like take it back out, is it like anything left over on my trident, or is it just like this misty dissipating thing? Right.
Yeah. I would say it is definitely more of like a, maybe at first almost looks like there's like a glimmering like gold, almost like liquid on the trident, but it really does just kind of like powder away into nothing. Yeah, it dissipates.
Okay, definitely. And being somebody who kind of deals with illusions, that's what I'm going to assume that it is, and instruct everybody that it is when I get the chance.
Okay, cool.
But that was all of my action points, and now it should be your turn.
Okay. Now, the last minion is going to move forward. How many spaces would that be? It can actually take 1 more step. Okay, so this last minion is actually going to kind of like almost gets up on the side of the crater, and then again grabs kind of a short bow off of his back and looses an arrow toward Nimbletoe. Oh boy, with a 19.
That might have done it.
Uh-oh. If I recall correctly, the last time we were playing, you gave all of the kobolds a potion. I think. Just throwing that back out there.
Yes, that's absolutely right. They should all have a dizzy potion.
Yes, that's right. Okay, good. But it would be, by default, it would just be 1 damage.
Okay. Also, I'm not 100% sure, but they may have drank their dizzy potion.
Oh, maybe you're right. After the fight with the crow man. Or was it just one of them? Well, they all took the same amount of damage, didn't they? You don't remember. You've got a couple potions on you, though, I think, at least, right?
Yeah, I can make sure they're good.
Okay. Well, anyway, with a 19 against physical defense, the default is 1 damage.
Okay. 1 damage for Nimbletoe. And so the default damage was 1, but he got 19, which is 1 away from being a brutal hit. So it's a heavy hit.
Okay.
So
okay, that's good. It's better anyway.
All right, so he is now at 3 health.
Okay.
3 slash apparently.
Didn't just one shot him anyway, and that's good.
Right. He's tough. He could take a hit.
Yeah. And then he's going to use his last action point to take not the full dodge, but just the dodge action. And then we're back up at, not quite back up at the top. I think we're to you now.
I was at the end of initiative last time around, so I think it's the guy in the bushes.
Oh, that's right. I misunderstood.
Nope, you're good. But Soot's now over here does want to get in a part of the action, and he's going to move forward, especially since he's got quite the flanking capabilities set up for him. Little unfortunate he had to move, but that's okay.
Yep.
Ooh, man. Even
Dang.
with... I know, right? Even with a +6, he's still only got an 8.
Dang. And that is unfortunately not quite enough to cut through the physical defense.
But that's okay. He'll end his turn there, just staring really angry at him. It's almost like that black mist just slipped out of his fingers, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and this guy's being, we'll say he's being all nimble and like just hardly wiggling out of the way. And it does seem like weirdly not very human in interaction. You know what I mean? It seems funky for sure.
Right.
It's moving almost like that of a puppet.
It ain't got no bones.
Okay, where are we? I feel like...
it should be pretty much top of the round for everyone that you have. So I think it's going to be the one in the middle of the group or the actual guy, Archon.
Okay. Everyone went once so far? Is that right?
Yes. And now I have done one round with someone who has gone twice. So I guess technically you probably should have gone before.
Okay, that's what I was confused, but I totally lost track. So I was like, okay, there is actually... I see what's going on there. Did you want to do anything with your Dragonette specifically?
I don't usually use the Dragonette unless it's like dire consequences or it's like my life's in jeopardy. So it's going to be like a defense mechanism to be able to be like a HP buffer. That's kind of what I use it for.
Cool. That sounds good. Okay. So this is going to get kind of wacky. So we'll be back up at the top now then with Archon. You see Archon, he kind of like stands up right at the edge of the crater, right? And he looks down into the crater. And you see his face just kind of like light up with excitement. He's like, yeah. And he looks back over towards your group with kind of like frustration. And basically he just like yells out. He's like, you are the only one in the prophecy to stop me. And I will not allow it. And you see him kind of just like outstretch his hands. And another just like strange flow of like radiant energy kind of goes into the minion there in front of you. Mm-hmm. And he's going to use all of his action points to empower an attack from this minion on you specifically, on Zephyrian. So it is going to be an attack with his, sparkly scimitar thing, with advantage and +2 damage.
Okay.
And we'll see what that does for him. See if it's worth it.
I hope he gets a brutal hit.
I know, right? Okay, so it is a 14.
Plus anything?
That's it. Nope, 14.
Oh, wow. He didn't even hit.
Oh, nice.
That's against my mental defense. If he's doing physical, he definitely hit.
Okay, nice. That is really funny. Yeah, it is against mental defense. So, ironically, where you're like, yeah, go ahead and hit me kind of thing, it seems like he's committed to that. And he literally like just swings and like he just doesn't make contact. He kind of like slips right before he swings and just like misses. And you hear Archon just grunt loudly. He's just like, what? Come on, hit him.
Exactly.
But that's actually all of Archon's turn, so that's pretty funny.
I'm gonna absolutely have to taunt him for that one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna make my voice appear in his head and be like, you gotta be quicker than that.
He just grits his teeth really hard, just mad. Just like, all right. So
it's likely, since you have 5 to my 4 for the moment, you might have to take a double turn.
I see. Especially because we technically already like restarted with Soot Snout once.
Yes.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, we'll do that. Then it would be the guy that's in front of you. And I'll just say, basically this figure also just seems kind of frustrated at what just happened. Looks over at Archon and you see him kind of like almost like shake for a second, and he looks back at you quickly and is going to basically do the same thing, but on his own resources. He's going to try to attack you, give himself advantage, and 1 damage this time. So it wouldn't be quite as bad if it happens at all. 14. That's hilarious. That is so funny. Still like the same situation. So basically he's just like all, looks over at Archon, looks kind of scared, tries to attack you again. Literally like the same thing, but the other situation. So now like his other foot slips and he swings and just misses. You see him just kind of like silently just like grabs his head, just like, oh no. Yeah. And that's it for his turn.
All right. That could have gone better for him.
Yeah, it could have, and it also couldn't have.
So it's kind of looking like these guys are, okay, one of them at the moment is just kind of a chump for them to take care of. So when these two see that it's almost taken care of in this situation, they're going to back away for a minute. Nimbletoe especially, since he's already got some damage on him.
Okay. Ooh, does this creature make an opportunity attack or attempt to?
Ooh, that's a good...
Can it?
Good idea.
I will say that it is martially equipped enough that it's going to try to make a martial attack.
They should still try to... I think they're still going to try to retreat a little bit.
Okay.
But I can't remember if Glimmerclaw or Nimbletoe is first.
Yeah, it doesn't matter too much. Either's fine. They're relatively equivalent as far as abilities anyway, so no big deal. But
I would attack with Glimmerclaw, but I would flee with Nimbletoe.
That makes sense.
How about I just do an attack first, just to see if that makes anything happen?
Yeah, that makes sense. I get you.
Okay, so Glimmerclaw is going to take 1 attack and empower it, so that way it has advantage. 11 plus 6.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, we actually got 17.
Heck yeah. Oh, that's funny. I see. I was like, wait, what? But I okay, it makes sense.
I know, right? Weirdest coincidence. I rolled a 6 and an 11. The 6.
Okay, a 17 is just enough for a heavy hit.
Oh, really? Okay.
Uh-huh. So how much damage? How much base damage?
So it's just 1 base damage, and I guess that'd be +1 for the heavy.
Okay, so perfect. So you see, so like Nimbletoe is like kind of like dancing around like, I'm gonna get out of here. But Glimmerclaw quickly makes a swipe towards this thing and literally just kind of like rips through the torso of the armor to the point that it just keeps moving, and like the armor just like falls to the ground, and there's just like a burst of radiant energy as this creature just seems to kind of disappear, except for the armor.
Okay. When you say a burst of radiant energy, is that enough to inflict damage on anyone around?
Thankfully not. It's really just like ow, wow, that was bright, but that was about it.
Nice. For my fire shield, it's actually also emitting 2 spaces of radiant light. So I'm definitely not going to be able to hide anymore.
Okay, fair enough. Thanks for pointing that out in case it comes up.
Absolutely.
So that minion is toast or dust or whatever you want to call it.
Perfect for my side.
All right. Did Glimmerclaw want? Oh no, that was the 2. Okay, never mind. I see.
Yep, that was his 2 action points.
Okay, so it should be this guy over here by the water now, I believe. He's going to trudge through the water with an action point, and he would only be able to make it there with 1. He is going to take a little bit more steppage towards you all. Put him there. He's going to try to get an eye on most of you. But I'm going to say he really only has a clear lined up shot on Nimbletoe again. So he's going to spend his last action point to sling an arrow from his short bow towards Nimbletoe.
Okay.
With only an 8.
That actually misses.
Nice.
Nimbletoe has base 10s.
Okay, there we go. And that'll actually be it for his turn. You can keep moving.
Nice. So would it be Nimbletoe's turn? Nimbletoe's?
Nimbletoe. I think so. Yeah. Because we did Glimmerclaw last, so yeah, that'll work.
Okay, definitely. He would have run away, but now he's getting kind of angry. Why is he the only one who's getting hit?
Right, I know.
So he's gonna head a good 10 feet that way and just go for a punch. Just a basic, normal old punch.
Yeah, sure. All right.
And it didn't work at all.
Yep, only a 3. Unfortunately, he does kind of, I'll say that the form basically just kind of parries it a little bit out of the way, just enough.
and that's why you don't do things in anger. That's going to be the end of his turn.
All right. We'll keep moving with these guys. So going to take the nearest one, bring him up kind of along the crater. He's going to get right to the base of the crater there, and then spend an action point to step directly in the water. Or not spend another action point, but he uses his last 2 spots of movement to enter the water. So, and again, they seem to be trying to make their way really to your whole group, but they only have a couple lined up shots, sort of. I'm actually going to give Nimbletoe a +2 with this attack as well, but he's going to sling an arrow from the short bow at Nimbletoe again.
Sounds good to me. I mean, combat's all about positioning.
That's true. That's right. That is only a 12.
It does hit. It's not heavy or anything.
Okay. Does it just hit because the cover thing? Is that what's going on with that?
Oh, if it's a +2 for cover, yes, it still hits because it'll be 12.
Okay. Just making sure.
Just hits.
Okay. It is a single piercing damage as the arrows, kind of cuts through the bush just enough to hit Nimbletoe.
These guys are some good shots.
They are for sure. And all the while they seem to have you're just kind of seeing this weird, all of them have almost a tether that's hardly visible to Archon until Archon stands up and directly commands them one way or another or whatever. Then the tether becomes much more visible.
Okay.
But yeah, that's it for his turn. He's kind of just hanging out in the river now.
Well, he's about to be wet and dead.
Got him.
I'm gonna go ahead and move Zephyrian here, from here to here to here to there. We're just getting all up in the business.
Excellent.
And that was 1 action point to move 20 feet.
Excellent.
So he should still have 3 more.
Mm-hmm.
After that, he's going to take a look right at Archon, and then he's going to cast Bane.
Ooh, very cool.
This is going to take another 2 AP and my 1 MP for the round. It's got a range of 5 spaces, so he's just barely in there.
Nice, perfect.
Or 5. And it's a duration of 1 minute. Choose 3 characters that you can see within the range. So it's the 1, 2 in front of me and Archon.
Okay.
Make a spell check, contested by their mental save. And on a failure, the target must roll a d4 and subtract the number for each attack, check, or save they make until the spell ends.
All right.
And the duration is only 1 minute.
Okay.
So contested roll against your mental save.
Okay, I'm going to roll for going from the bottom to the top of the map. I'll roll.
Absolutely.
Ooh, a 17. That's probably plus some numbers, right?
Yep, 17 plus 4. So we got a 21 you got to beat.
Oh, shoot. Okay, so from the bottom, 19.
Very close.
Pretty close, but not enough. A 20, very close, but not enough still. And for Archon, only a 5.
Okay. See, he was frustrated he got so close, and then he just biffed it.
Yeah, exactly. That's huge. Okay, cool.
But if that was going to be another 20 or something, I was going to have to ask to check your digital dice, sir.
I know, right? They're not weighted. All right, sweet. So all 3 fail and are now afflicted by Bane.
Excellent. So 1d4 minus to whatever they do, basically.
Oh, very cool. All right.
And there is 1 action point left over. If I can get away with moving, casting a spell, I think I'd do just a smack right behind me with my trident.
Yeah. An attack check. Perfect.
Absolutely. And it doesn't cost anything extra to do versatile, so I will make sure that I say that I'm doing it 2-handed.
Yep. Sounds good.
1 quick attack check on the guy right in front of Nimbletoe. It's going to be a 7 plus 4, 11.
11.
Plus 2 because of
plus
flanking.
2, yes. So it's actually 13.
13.
And that made all the difference, actually. So that does hit now. That's
excellent.
3 damage, right?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, that's a pretty solid hit. You nearly bloodied, if you will, the creature that is there between you two.
He's not bloody. He's gassy.
Yeah, basically, yeah. All right, cool. That was all your actions, correct?
Yes, and Zephyrian should be right at the end. So whatever is next. And the Dragonette is just in my amulet waiting with me. So it'll just be pretty much wherever I'm at.
Okay, cool. I gotcha. Okay. So it should just be the guy next to Archon now, I believe.
Yes.
It needs to go do his thing. Okay. He's gonna hunker down right where he's at. He sees you, the direct threat, the leader of all of the opposition against Archon right now. And you better believe he's like, I just gotta take this guy out at this point, right? So he's gonna pull out a short bow and he's gonna pump a bunch of actions into trying to hit you. So one for the attack, one with advantage, one to add damage. We'll see how it goes. Ooh, okay, pretty high to start with. Uh-oh.
Looks like it. Natural 20.
Uh-oh. Okay, so this is against your physical defense.
Yep. Which, we've
So
got...
Total's 22.
And for a brutal hit, you only need 19.
Okay, so it's brutal.
Yes.
And so, okay, so it's 1 base damage, 2 for being brutal, an extra 2 for being a crit,
Okay.
and then 1 more from the action point to add 1 damage.
So that was 6 hit points altogether.
Yep, exactly. 6 damage outright.
Which
that's a big one.
breaks my fire shield completely. That was all my temporary HP.
Okay. Dang, that was a big hit, but thankfully it was just the fire shield. It was no real health taken. That's cool.
And he's kind of a big butthole for not doing it with melee damage.
Yeah, I know, he is. That's true. Yeah, so he does that, and you see just like this maniacal smile come over Archon's face as he kind of looks back at that figure that shot. And the figure kind of just gives like a almost cartoonishly like a head nod, like something you'd see from like one of the Heartless or something from Kingdom Hearts, you know.
Oh yeah.
But
if he had a hat, he'd tip it right now.
Yeah, exactly. But that's all the actions that he can do is that one shot. So that's it for him.
Absolutely. That should bring us back to the top of the round, and Snout's the one who's been at the top.
Okay.
So he's just basically going to charge in. 2, 1, 2, 3. Get right up there. Just to be basically support per flank. And that'll leave us 1 action point open and just take another swipe at him.
There you go.
So we got double flank over here.
Yeah, buddy. You got a +4 at the end of all that mess.
Yes, for a 15.
Excellent.
Does that hit on the ghost?
It does. It does as
phantom.
a normal hit.
The specter.
Yeah.
Taking several guesses.
It
All
does
technically
hit.
the same guess.
Wasn't there a point? I feel like I missed. Oh no, that was, never mind. Okay, that was the 3 damage. Okay. I thought I missed some math earlier, but I didn't. We're good. Okay, that's 1 damage, correct?
Yes.
Okay, the creature is officially bloodied, if you will, now. So you can tell that it's faltering in its form a bit now, for sure.
And that should be the end of his turn.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right, then. So we're back at the opposite side with Archon, I believe, right? So, all right. So Archon's going to be like, I've had about enough of this. And he's kind of like, you know, kind of do the same thing where he just like lunges his arms up towards his minions. Mm-hmm. And he's going to spend his actions allowing the minion in the water to take a swipe at you.
Do it.
And it'd be a +2 for the normal attack, +2 for the flank. So we'll give it a +4 by default with a natural 1. So that's gonna miss regardless. And again, so basically this guy kind of just like jumps out of the river just enough to kind of like swipe and just like totally biffs it. And it's like pick himself back up out of the water. And Archon's just like screaming. He's just like, what are you doing?
Archon's like, I have to do everything?
Yeah, basically. And then he's going to do basically the same thing, but with the other guy, giving him a chance instead. And he's going to also, well...
That's all right.
How would that be? It'd be like 1, 2... Yeah, no, we'll just leave it at that. Okay, so yeah, he's going to spend his other action to allow that one to attack as well. So basically the same situation.
Okay.
But it's 13, and it is melee, so this is, if it connects, it is mystical defense.
Oh, if it's mystical defense, he does not hit. Because he needs a 15.
All right, perfect. So, yes, they all seem to be kind of like brandishing the same, like blade, you know, halfway, it's like scimitar thing. But really, it's just a tool to deliver whatever this energy is, kind of thing. So,
yeah.
So straight up misses there again. And then Archon himself is going to angrily, for the first time, you see him do something a bit different. You see him kind of just like, that's enough. And he's going to lunge in towards the crater. He's going to literally just like hop right in there kind of thing.
Just a hop, skip, and a jump away.
Yeah. And you see him grab, he just like lunges down and you almost don't see him anymore. Like he kind of bends down and you just see this bright like burst of pinkish energy mixed with radiant energy, just kind of like emitting from the crater. And then you see him quickly, he comes back into frame as he literally like, he comes up looking like Bane from the Batman comics, except he's just like super grossly monstrous looking. He's going to actually like double in size as well.
Oh boy.
And then you see like he's just got these gross muscles and like all of his veins are just like pinkish and he's just like glowing like a Super Saiyan basically. And he kind of looks over at you and his face is just like messed up. It looks like some of his bones even like broke to like make his new figure. He just looks over at you and just like grunts this feral primal like grunt. That's it for Archon's turn.
Okay. And I do want to mention something that I kind of forgot to say.
Okay.
All of the attacks that have been going on should have been baned this round. So it should have been
that's
minus
right.
1d4 for those guys.
Did
it really
any of
wouldn't
them-
have changed much other than the one like brutal hit, but that's okay.
And that was only brutal because it was a crit, right?
Yes.
Okay. So definitely give yourself 1 health back because it would have just done that pretty much because it's like 1 away from brutal or whatever. Or something like that. So we'll go ahead and just give you 1 health back and call it a wash. And then we'll remember that for next time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely forgot. I'm glad you remembered.
But next time around, I was honestly just about to like, this guy was getting big and crazy and he was about to like do a like super move in my head. So
right.
When you said he looks like Bane, I was like, Bane, you're Bane.
Oh, right. Bane. Literally. Yeah. Like, oh yeah. Like that word you said.
But that
I'm gonna give him like a tint. Like he's all pink and crazy looking now. Okay.
pink
all right.
Power.
Yeah, exactly. Pink. Okay, so that's it for his turn.
Okay,
do we want to stick with just like 2 turns from their side like we did last round?
Sure. Whatever is good.
I think that's what we did last round. We had Archon act and then one of the minions, and then it was staggered after that.
Yep, it would make sense because the one guy who was right up at front, he's dead now. So it would be the double initiative thing.
Yeah. Okay. So you see. Okay. So this will be kind of interesting. All of his little minion creatures seem to kind of almost like shimmy a little bit, and they just like freeze up for a second, and then you see them all just kind of like look towards Archon. And this tether that was not extremely visible between all of them, like slowly almost seems to like degrade into like a pinkish color instead. And then they all, all the minions kind of just like shock back up out of being frozen. And they all seem like intimately locked on Zephyrian specifically. And it's something that you like notice right away. So I'm actually like calling that out as you notice it kind of thing. Like all the minions seem to be locked on target to you. So beware of that. But the first minion here between you guys is, but one of the minions are dead. That's right.
The minion at the very front of initiative should be dead, and the minion in the very back, kind of next to Archine.
See, why didn't you say, Cody, you're a big dummy? No, I'm just kidding. So it will not be their turn. It will stagger correctly now from here on. So.
You sure?
Yeah.
Definitely. But if you feel you need one more attack on me, you do it.
No, that's just unfair. It should work out this way now.
Okay.
So yeah, feel free. Go for it.
Glimmerclaw down here. The last thing he did was knock this guy out. So he's going to move up into battle. And does this still count as flanking?
So you get the benefit from anyone that isn't right next to you. So it would be a flank with Zephyrian specifically. So it'd be like a +2.
Okay.
That's how it's supposed to work anyway.
So he started right here. If we were going to go 5 feet, this would probably be like 15 feet. And he probably couldn't make it all the way through there. Yeah. He'll just move right there with one action point and take a quick little swipe at the guy who's left in the center.
Okay. Still a flank.
For
So.
15 plus 2 for a flank. So we got 17.
That's a heavy hit.
Very nice.
Just enough for a heavy hit. So that's looking at 2 damage, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this creature has just the smallest amount of like gumption and form left at all. Like most of the armor is kind of just like ripped up and it's just like hardly, it's like jello kind of thing. It's like flopping around. It is still standing, but seems to be just hardly that way.
That'll have to be the end of his turn there. That was his 2 AP.
All
Hopefully
right.
they don't have something to respond with.
Right. Okay. So I don't remember exactly who should be going next. I didn't mark them or anything. Should it be the one between you guys?
Okay.
Or the lake bed guy? I don't know. We'll go with the one between you guys. I want to say that one's looking real messed up, but it seems to just be like maybe almost as like a sacrificial sort of situation. It's going to just, instead of trying to move or run or anything, it's just gonna be like, all right, just gotta pour it all in. Here it is. It's all or nothing. It also does seem to be weirdly like focused, like I said, on you at this point. But it's going to spend 1 action to try to attack you.
Okay.
And you notice that its blade is like pinkish now instead of the red, or instead of the, white.
Oh boy.
But we're still gonna call it, actually, you know what? We're gonna call it umbral damage.
Okay. So, funny enough, I am also weak to unholy damage.
I thought that, yeah. Okay.
So unchanged.
And it does seem to be, okay, it also seems to be a stronger, more intense and uncontrollable energy. So the base damage for this one is actually 2 instead of just 1.
Okay. Well, if the base damage is 2, and then it has a whole unholy or umbral vulnerability, then that makes it 3.
Okay. And yeah, it'd still be against your mental defense, so the
Yes.
higher defense anyway.
So it's just a normal one, normal hit.
All right, very good. And then it is going to kind of look at the rest of the kobolds around it. And basically, it's going to spend its next 2 action points, 1 to attack and 1 to try to do cleave as a martial technique of sorts
Very cool.
with a natural 1.
Even cooler.
So they don't even have to save at all. Basically, like it swings at you, hits, and it's just like, yes, kind of turns around and, takes 1 swipe at the kobolds, and its measurements are way off and literally just cuts directly over their heads and seems frustrated. But that's it for its turn, so we can move on from there.
Nice. All right. So this is the second person in this round here in my initiative order. I mean, we've got the first kobold. Now we're going to go with the second kobold. Nimbletoe is going to do an empowered attack directly on the guy right in the middle there.
Excellent.
For a 14 plus 4 for double flank. So it's an 18 against its physical defense.
Nice. Yeah, definitely enough, and definitely enough. So that was on the one in the group there, right?
Yes, the one in the center.
Yep. So as this one is shredded by the kobold, it does kind of like dissipate, and this one's a lot more volatile, unfortunately. So the way that it kind of like falls apart, the energy is just like I said, is much more intense and uncontrollable. It actually like spews forth almost in like tendrils and kind of like slaps the area around it. And we'll just do, I guess for the kobolds, it'll be kind of just be like a straight roll maybe, but it'll be a saving throw to see if they avoid the tendrils slapping around. You can make them in whatever order you'd like.
Myself, I guess I should have enunciated first.
That's okay.
1 for everybody, but myself is for the save.
I got you. Kind of just like from the top, moving around.
Yeah, was there a plus to anything?
Probably not for the kobolds, but for you, it would be a agility save, if that helps you.
Not really. Okay, so now with the it being an agility save, it's 19 minus 1 for me, so 18.
Okay.
We have 8 for, it's not doing the chime thing, but we have 8 for Snoot Snout. We have 9 for Glimmerclaw, and then we have 12 for Nimbletoe. Just going from top all the way to bottom.
Okay, perfect. So, Slit Snout and Glimmerclaw will take 1 damage, umbral damage. It shouldn't matter, but 1 umbral damage. But you and Nimbletoe do manage to, and that makes sense. Nimbletoe, I like that. So you two manage to avoid the tendrils of energy slapping around when this creature, loses its form, and then it kind of just like dissipates into nothingness after that.
Funny enough, the only 2 people who were already damaged avoided the damage this time.
Nice. Perfect. Okay, yeah, so that's it for that creature's turn. Wait, was that even that creature's turn?
It wasn't. That was my turn, and I killed it, and then it had an explosion.
Yes, that's right. So now that minion's down, the turn order is going to be starting to stack in your favor.
Slightly.
And that's good. Okay, so one of the minions will go next. Probably the one in the river, I suppose. Okay, the one in the river is going to make 1 sword attack at you before it even moves. It's just gonna be like hunkered down in the river. It's gonna reach up, try to swipe at you, and he's going to give himself advantage on it as well.
Definitely.
Okay,
Are
so
there
let's
any?
see.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you're right. It would only be a 10.
Nice. And honestly, yeah, didn't even hit, especially if it's against my mental defense.
Yep, and it is. It seems their blades are very covered in the pink goo. And then it's going to spend its last action point to actually give its friend back here. It's going to basically just like tie you up, more or less, like try to just like, combatively, like it swings at you and like tries to just like keep your attention and keep coaxing you, basically, as it uses the help action for its friend in the back there. Not that I'll remember that when it comes time, but that's okay.
Yeah, not like I'll remember that these guys are baned either.
Dang it, see? Exactly. That's hilarious. I need to, hang on. I can do something to help mark that. I just forget. I'll give him a little not poison, I don't know, skull and crossbone markers.
Yeah, they're all pirates now.
Exactly. That's what Bane is, right?
Right.
Gives you a peg leg.
Technically, the guy all the way in the back got away with not being baned.
Oh, that's right. See, man, I'm so glad. I'm not cut out for this GMing stuff.
Yeah, you are.
I'm so glad you're here. Okay, very good. Okay, so the creature on the river's turn is over. The guy in the back has a help action. But for now, that's it. So, one of your turns again.
Very nice. So it's actually just Soot Snout here, and then after that it'll be Zephyrian.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it would be nice if he could grant the help action to Zephyrian, or maybe even take a dodge action.
Excuse me.
It might be nice to not be in the middle of the river, at least for these little guys that are like 2 feet tall.
Yeah, 100%. Soot Snout can help. Oh, wait, is that what you said? Who?
Yes, Soot Snout, the one closest to Zephyrian. That's his turn. He's got 2 AP, and I was thinking he could take like the help action and a dodge action, as long as that's not compounding.
No, yeah, that's totally doable.
Awesome. Then that's definitely what he's going to do. 1 help to the Zephyrian and 1 dodge.
Okay. He could even technically give help to Zephyrian twice, and you'd get a D8 and a D6 if you want to do that instead.
Okay.
You call.
Nah, that's okay.
Okay.
He's only got the 2 AP, and that would probably be compounding.
Okay. I mean, no, I mean, like, you can do that. Rules is written, just so you know.
There's no compounding, like...
It'd just be that the second help
benefit,
die is a
detriment?
D6 instead of a D8. That's the only,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then from there, if someone wanted to just only burn actions on help or whatever, it's basically just like, it'd be a D8 and then a D6, and then any help actions after that is a D4.
Okay. Yeah, I might end up doing that then. Just do a double help then.
Cool. So now you got to remember, with whatever help action he's helping with, you got a D8 and a D6 to roll with your check.
Okay.
Liddy.
Well, that'll technically be all that he can do. He's basically just like right behind Zephyrian, like holding him up by the back.
Yeah, I like it. Zephyrian's like leaning over the river base, and so it's now just grabbing him.
Exactly. Hold me back.
Yeah, right. That's funny. Okay, cool. So the last minion still needs to go, and then it will be anyone that's left on your team from there. Should be.
Excellent.
All right, cool. This guy is going to now do things a little bit differently. You notice, so he's got his crossbow pulled out, ready to shoot, most likely at you. But in doing so, you see when he like brandishes the arrow, there are several like pink arcane energy arrows that just like appear around him, kind of just like encompassing his form. And when he shoots the arrow, they all like launch through the air towards you as well.
Okay.
But it is actually he's going to try to just make it all count big right to start too. So he's going to do 1 to attack, 1 at advantage, 1 with a +1 damage.
Okay.
Oh boy. Oh wow. Boy, really?
Okay.
Okay. Dang. Okay, so geez, oh Pete. So he launches the arrow. It would be 1 normal damage and 1 umbral damage base. All the bonuses I'm just going to give to the like the piercing damage. So, golly, what's a 22 for you?
22 is definitely a brutal hit.
Okay. Okay, so it's would be 1 damage. So basically at the end of all this, 1 umbral damage will be added separately. That's just how that's gonna work. So 1 damage by default, 1 for heavy, 1 for brutal, 2 for crit, bringing it to 5 damage, and then it's 1 umbral damage as well.
Dang, okay.
That was a dirty one.
Yep. And I do have to say, thank you for running this campaign, because I am at -4 health.
What? No.
Deader than dead.
No. That can't be. That can't be how this goes. Are you kidding?
That's the dice, man.
What? No. What even? Oh my gosh. What even happens now?
Man, that guy literally just shot straight through Zephyrian's chest. Like, to the point where, like, Sootsnout's backing him up, like, trying to hold him forward. He can see the arrow, like, directly through his chest, dude. It's, like, right above his head.
No. Now what? What? The kobolds are still alive?
That's true. But, luckily, everybody, I don't want to mess with you too much. Because my dragonette has always been here, ready with an extra 5 HP. So that temporary HP has always kind of been there, waiting for the one and only time that Zephyrian needed it. Like this.
That's very true. And in doing so, you're a jerk. I forgot. I literally forgot all about that. So that's really fun. In doing so,
we can even say the dragonette, just like the glow starts coming out of the amulet, and just the greenish blue like just pulls out the arrow. It's still a whole bunch of damage, and I would still be on 1 health, but I'm not dead.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you're such a jerk. I forgot all about that. That's awesome. Okay.
Sorry, I just had to play your leg for a minute.
Whew, you stinker. Okay.
I do think that makes it Zephyrian's turn.
It does.
And he has a healing potion right in his inventory. He's going to chug that bad boy.
Okay. That's just 1 action to use any kind of thing like that. So 1 action point, and you got a potion that I think we've been doing it as 3 base healing, but I'm also having you roll a check, and if it's like 10, the DC's 10 kind of thing, and it works the same where like any over that is an extra.
Is this in a way a medicine check or just a base roll?
We can do like a medicine check. That makes sense.
Okay. I have a +5 to my medicine, so that's cool.
Ooh, okay.
Just
man, if it's like
7 + 5, 13.
Okay, so it's just the 3, so you get 3 HP back immediately.
Thank you very much. And for those of you that don't know, I have 6 HP, and I rely on creating temporary HP with my fire shield. Now I only have 5.
The dang dragonette, man. Oh man, I knew we kept that thing out for a reason.
Right? But that was 1 action point to be able to chug that potion down. It's going to be another 2 action points and 1 mana point to activate my fire shield. Okay. Let's hope I can get a good activation off of it. And do help die apply to this? Or should I have used the help die previously?
Yeah. I should have, when you first established the help die, I forgot we're supposed to like say the thing that they're helping with, so that it's like in the future it's that check. But it doesn't matter. In this case,
I'm sorry.
Oh no, I totally forgot. I should have said something too. I just straight forgot. But yeah, we can totally just use it for this, especially because I almost killed you and I'm so scared.
Dude, no. But Yeah, I did kind of want to intend them to help with an attack, and this would be the first time they're attacking. Or,
Right, that's true.
Well, Fire Shield is kind of an attack. Not really.
Yeah, just use it.
All right, cool.
Please.
Let's do this one, and this one. 7, 4, 1, plus 4 for the attack check. So 7, 4, that's 11, 15, 16.
Yep.
Actually, without all of that help, I would have gotten a really poor Fire Shield.
Yeah, okay, see, that worked out. That was good.
So with that, the Fire Shield activation gives me an extra 3 temporary hit points.
Ooh, yeah, cool. Okay. This, is it to the end of that round yet?
Nope, not just yet.
Okay,
I have,
cool.
1 AP left.
Okay, cool. I don't want to show my hand. Sorry, I got excited there.
And, okay, so what I would like to do is, while they are still, in a way, baned, I want to cast... Okay, sorry.
You're good.
Sleep and Psychic Fear are similarly worded at the beginning, so I always get confused because one of them is allowed to do multiple targets and one of them is not. So I was just making sure I was doing the right one. So I've cast my spells, actually, with the Fire Shield, so I don't actually have an MP. Just trying to think out all of my options here.
I get it.
You know, with only 1 action point and kind of a death jump scare, I might just take the dodge action.
Okay, all right, sounds good. So the first attack made against you will be made at disadvantage.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, now.
Actually, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Zephyrian has wings,
Mm-hmm.
and if he moved from here to here, could I get there without having too much of a penalty from moving?
I see what you're saying, and that does make sense. I mean, there's been times that, yeah, you know what? I will allow that. That does make sense. I like it.
Nice. Okay, without penalty of movement, he's going to move right here instead of taking the dodge action. So that way, the Fire Shield can actually be useful.
Cool. That sounds good. All right. Okay.
But that should technically be his turn.
All right. Okay. Very exciting. So, so that is a full round, right?
Yes.
Everyone from your team. Okay. So, something very interesting happens here, and I was worried we weren't even going to get to this. So, there is a shadow cast on the entire battlefield. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like gone as quick as it's there, and then it encompasses the battlefield again, and you hear your kobolds. They just kind of like, you hear Glimmerclaw specifically, right? He's the voice of them for the most part. So you hear Glimmerclaw, and he goes, "Oh, Pyrathrax is here." And you see the massive dragon that was only glimpsed in the desert is literally just like flying around above you. And he just like looks down, and you notice something. You're a lot closer to the dragon this time. And you notice something about the dragon. Its whole like head shape and stuff like that is like shockingly similar and like resembles that. It doesn't look like your father, but it looks similar.
Mm-hmm. Like he's got the chin, you know?
Yeah, something about it. You're like literally like the facial structure of this dragon reminds you of like is this my granddad kind of thing? Like something's going on here.
Okay.
And this dragon just like lands in the middle of this battlefield, and I need a brief moment. There's some funny stuff. Yeah. Okay. All right. So back at it. Okay. So this dragon just lands in the middle of this battlefield, and he looks at you, and it looks at Archon, and you see Archon just gets so angry. Like he's just like fuming mad at this creature. And then the dragon is basically just like, "Archon, we meet again." And then looks towards you and is like, "Zephyrian, the prophecy that Archon speaks of is true. You must stop him now." And he'll be like, "It was written in our bloodline for countless generations. You cannot fail now. And now, this dragon will somewhat seems to be here more or less to aid you in combat. And your kobold friends are just freaking losing their mind right now. They're just like, they're like, it's true. It was true the whole time. There's Pyrothrax. Okay, now we're at the top of the round. Will you do me a favor and roll a d20 plus 5 to see where this dragon lands in initiative?
Natural 20.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Okay. So this will be interesting in the sense that this dragon, there's a lot of things with your bloodline, right? All the like the draconic stuff you can do through this dragon, and all of its rolls will be a lot of like the things that happen in determining what happens after the rolls, like damages and whatever else, will be things that are just little secrets that are revealed as we go. But more or less, this giant dragon is you, as far as mechanics go. And since you rolled a natural 20 with him, he's going to be what starts the round now instead of Archon. So consider it your turn from the position of the dragon. Feel free to ask any questions you need, but yeah, you're up.
Okay, so the dragon's fighting with me, or I'm essentially the dragon.
Mm-hmm. Mechanically speaking, you can use your own character largely as reference on how to play this dragon.
All right. So with a natural 20 from this dragon to kick things off, it's basically coming in here with a sneak attack.
Absolutely. And that is actually a thing. I forgot. Natural 20 on initiative means the first check you make has advantage.
Very nice. Very nice. And since this is a dragon, obviously we have to do the dragon breath weapon. What better way to introduce it?
Mm-hmm.
And since my character is actually built a little bit more dragon heavy for his powers, I've got second breath, which lets me use 2 dragon breath weapons for 1 use. So that's going to give me extra damage, along with the fact that I'm using a mortar instead of just a line or a cone. And might as well just amplify that one more time with some MP to give it a base damage of 5. So that's what I'm going to do. It's going to take 2 AP to do this breath weapon.
Alrighty.
And since it's a sonic blast, I roll against its mental defense. So let's see how it lands. And it's at advantage because it's a natural 20, right?
Correct. The dragon has 4 AP like normal too, so you know.
Okay, perfect. Well, good thing it was at advantage. 7 plus 4, so 11. Does an 11 hit against their mental defense. And that's going to be the big purple guy.
Okay. Did you say that you were empowering it in any way with advantage again?
You know, I didn't, and I really should have.
You know, I've actually thought you did, which is why I asked. I will actually, for this one time, I will let you retcon and do it with advantage again if you want to, for another action point.
Okay.
I wouldn't normally do that, but in this specific instance, there's a lot going on with determining how to run this thing and all that stuff, so I'll let you do it if you want to.
All right, I'll give it one more try just to see if it works.
Okay, see, that was very worth it.
A little bit better. And so that should definitely take 3 AP out of the 4 for just a massive breath weapon.
So what is the final number with the dice?
All right, so rolling a 17 plus 4, we got a 21 against their mental defense.
Okay, that does hit with do some math here, just a heavy hit.
Okay, definitely. I was expecting that just almost, you didn't really get it, you know?
Right? No, thankfully, no, that's not the case. So it does hit with a heavy hit. So what would be the damage with all that?
It was a 5 base damage for all of that. And then if it's a heavy, you've got 1 more.
Okay, 4. And then the dragon itself is a very strong creature, so it is another added 3 damage to that.
Getting up there.
Yeah.
That was 9
big.
damage altogether.
What a huge hit. Okay.
Oh, it is a dragon.
Right, exactly. So basically, this dragon seems to just kind of swoop down. It lands. It communicates directly with you. It just like lurches its head back and basically just like screams like a Fus Roda kind of situation.
Right.
Just like plops this, just like mortar of like distorted looking air. And then it just like slams down onto Archon and kind of like pushing him into the crater a little bit. And it is a very large hit. Like it's a good solid hit there. And almost uncomfortably, you see Archon kind of just like pull himself out of the crater, and you hear some like large, gross, like bone cracking noises. And he just kind of like looks up at the dragon and just grunts. Looks like he's got a surprising amount of fight left in him yet.
Not for long.
That's right. Now what?
So the dragon has 1 more AP, and it would probably, I don't think I can move him, but he would probably move a little bit closer to Archon.
That makes sense. I will move him, and he can move as close as getting all the way to Archon if you'd like, and really in any like spot around him. So where would you like him?
Behind Archon would be awesome.
Okay. So basically he's just going to take one large leap and one large like wing flap kind of thing to get directly behind Archon, landing swiftly there.
Definitely.
All right.
And that's the dragon's turn.
Yeah, that'd be his last action point. Okay, so this is going to get kind of crazy. So Archon, you see the last 2 minions here that are on the map, right? You see Archon kind of just like, he just like stands up and just kind of like, cracks his body, just moves around uncomfortably. He reaches out towards both minions, and the tether that is kind of like, going to each of them lights up really brightly, and you see that Archon just like sucks the energy out of these creatures. They both just like almost explode, and then that energy goes back to Archon. And in doing so, they aren't as explosive as they were before, so there isn't any kind of damage that's taken for like the area of effect explosion of them dying, basically.
Did I happen to feel anything when it like exploded and essentially like passed through or around me?
I wouldn't necessarily say so. You kind of like lurch out of the way as it's happening, but you can just tell the way that this happens that it rejuvenates Archon a bit, and he's healed by it a little bit. And he kind of just like grows even stronger as, he's just got this like pinkish mist just floating off of him. And that is his first action. His second action, he's going to actually reach out and attempt to grapple you.
Okay.
So he's going to make an athletics check against your martial check, so either athletics or acrobatics.
Both poor, -1, but let's hope he gets me so I can use my fire shield.
Right.
We got a 9 with a -1. We got 8.
Okay. He's against a 14, so he did get you.
Yeah.
So that is funny. So technically he's not doing damage to you, but the fire shield should definitely damage him because he's like literally touching it. So
however much the fire shield works, like if they do 1 damage to me with melee, then they also take 1 damage. Okay. So if he takes the damage, it would make sense to me that like one of the temporary hit points would go off of the shield.
Okay. Maybe I'll even let you decide how that works. Do you want to, do you want it to be that way, or do you want to hold on to your shield? I would say like it would be pretty much 1 damage, if anything. So like from grabbing you, with his big, gross, pink and, nasty hands, he just kind of like grabs. Like yeah, exactly. It's like a one-handed, just like grabs your whole body. He can either like take a damage, or if you want to hold all of your temp HP for now, you can do that too.
I think it'd be cool if he took a damage like every time he touched me. So
okay,
I'll
cool.
Just use 1 HP like whenever it gets to like a round or something like that.
Okay, cool. That sounds good. So right now on the spot, he will take 1 damage from grappling you, and feel free to subtract that 1 temp HP from the shield.
Yes.
And then he's going to make another check angrily. So he's got his 1 AP spent there. He's going to, now that he has you, he's going to literally just throw you at the dragon that's right next to him. He's just going to like slam you into him kind of thing, or try to at least. And so he's going to make a check, athletics again, versus your martial check again.
Ooh,
Yeah, I meant to say, technically you did it, so it is 11, and it is going to be, his might is, so he'll be able to throw you 4 spaces technically, but the dragon is like right next to him, so basically he's just going to kind of throw you into the dragon, and he's gonna parse the damage between the two of you, giving you 1 damage and the dragon 3 damage. He seems to be feeling very highly threatened by the dragon itself.
I don't know why.
Yeah, very strange. So you just take 1 damage from that mess. Okay.
Easy enough.
Yeah.
And do you think him throwing me and causing me damage is enough to cause him damage through my fire shield?
Oh, dirty trick. Yeah, I mean, that just makes sense. Interesting. But but it would just be 1 damage again from your shield.
Yes.
Okay, yep. Dang, that is a dirty trick. I didn't even think about that fact, to be honest.
The only reason I ask is I'm like right next to him, and I feel like he could get a little burn.
Yeah.
If I hit the wall 4 spaces away, I might say like, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so the dragon doesn't move a lick, but yeah, it does feel the force of you colliding with it.
Throws a pretty good attack, especially if you know you're going to get it far.
Yeah, for sure.
Gonna have to use that for that barbarian I made.
Yeah, for sure, dude. It's really fun. I actually love it. I'm going to make a few characters, I think, that have a build that's just like grappling and throwing. I think it's going to be really fun. Okay, now Archon just kind of like upset, of course. He's going to make some crazy moves here. He's going to use his last 2 AP to do a special ability of his. Basically, he's just going to look at this dragon and you, and he just kind of like laughs at his, successful throw or whatever. And he's just like, he's like, it's not going to matter how this goes down. I'm going to win. And then he kind of reaches out towards the dragon, like both hands, just kind of like out, like literally like a Dragon Ball Z character. I don't know. That's the only way I can like imagine this for whatever reason.
Trying to catch him like a Hulk.
Yeah. Reaches out towards the dragon, and you see like his hands start glowing a little bit more with this pinkish mist, and he just absolutely just like blasts this beam towards the dragon, and the beam itself looks super intimidating and powerful, and he's going to spend his last 2 AP to make this attack with advantage.
What's the beam look like?
It looks like a giant pink version of special beam cannon. Nice, so it's literally just like, it just looks like raw, like arcane primal energy, just like violently blasting out from the sky.
So Vegeta stuff.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So it'd be a 14. The dragon's PD and MD is 15. So it actually just misses, which is very good for the dragon. Nice. Okay.
All right, being a Scion, I have the same mental defense as a dragon. Go ahead and put that on my fridge.
Right, yeah. Your resume.
Yes.
Okay, and in doing this, thankfully it did not collide, but you notice that Archon literally shrinks back down to size. Like he blasts so much energy out of him that he just like shrinks back down to a normal size creature. Oh. And I'll put him on that square. He's still got kind of like the pinkish weird aura around him, but he looks much weaker now. Okay. And that will be it for Archon's turn.
All right. So I think the kobolds are like kind of up next in initiative. Pretty much all of them. Yeah,
go ahead. It'd be everyone left on your team will go now.
So I've got the Dragonette right next to me. The Dragonette technically only has 1 HP left. So all of these little kobolds here probably shouldn't like engage with Archon, especially if he can throw the kobolds like the majority of their health.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna stick to the sidelines and just like move to the river up here, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of them are just gonna take a quick little trot, and then if they can, just do the help action once on the dragon.
Okay. Yeah, I'll allow that.
Can all of them do the help action, or is it diminishing returns?
They each can.
Okay.
Yep.
I feel like I might do that.
Okay.
Feels like how much health could he really have, you know?
And for the sake of this game, I will say that your kobolds are like, they're literally assistants to you. You know what I mean? Like they very much embody what help should be to you. And normally you'd have to be like within, a space of you or the target or whatever for help. But I actually like the idea that the kobolds have developed the ability to like be excellently distracting. You know what I mean? They're like, they are the perfect assistant to help you. And I like the idea that they could use like a ranged help, like that of a bard or something. Glimmerclaw learned how to do a ranged attack a couple sessions ago too, so he can like spit little motes of fire, I think, too. I forgot about that, but that's a thing.
Yeah.
But you do whatever you want. Just wanted to make sure you knew about that.
I kind of have an idea. Can you like do the help action to help somebody move more? Like
we could probably try to make it happen.
Like if we do the help action, right? Like the first one runs up to the river and then does the help action for the next one to jump over the river.
I like that idea. And it'd really just be like, it'd be like an action point to kind of literally just collectively like throw him over. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Narratively. I'm definitely cool with that. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. I'll throw the little guys over there so that way they can get like a part of the help action stuff, especially since.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
One that was on the river is damaged, and the two that aren't have enough health to probably keep going.
Yep, that sounds perfect. Okay. So yeah, for sure. You could definitely spend action point or whatever to kind of like have the kobolds toss one another over the river to save on movement a little bit.
Okay.
That seems something very like narratively. I like that concept. I can imagine that happening.
Awesome. So I'm pretty sure it was like this, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was like that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Because he's the 2 health. Okay. All right. So to start off the kobold's turn, they're gonna do some kind of ridiculous acrobatics in a way. We've got Glimmerclaw right next to looks like Nimbletoe, and Nimbletoe is going to stay on one side of the river, and he's gonna like do a help action or like a toss for both of these guys just to get across the river.
Perfect.
And hopefully maybe that'll extend his reach, or maybe diminish the fact that it's hard terrain or whatever.
Yeah,
but
I like it.
Glimmerclaw's gonna take a nice jump right over the river if he can make it with like a vault from Snootstown.
Yep. Perfect. Totally agree. I say like one action point from any of them can like launch another one over the river.
Perfect. I'll do Glimmerclaw. And honestly, that's almost like a grapple, but like choosing to fail the grapple.
Exactly. Yep, exactly.
Okay, Glimmerclaw is going to take the leap over. Is that enough to be considered out of the water, or should it be right here?
Yeah, I would say you should be able to put them at like any of the spaces along the coast there.
Okay, I'll put them right there. And that was one action point for him to jump, and then one action point for him to do it. Then this guy's gonna use his action point to move and probably continue the momentum to also get thrown or vaulted. Come over here if that's also gonna be good too.
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah, so if you want it to be this way, so it could be like Nimbletoe's action points are the ones that got them there so far, just so you know.
Okay. They probably had to like use an action point to move too, right?
Nah, I like the idea that Nimbletoe is just using his stuff to just kind of like, here, grab on, and just like hucks him over, you know?
Okay, cool.
That seems to be the correct. I can just like see that happening.
Right. And they're all saying hup the entire time.
Yeah.
Yes. But if these guys over here on the other side of the rivers have their action points, then they're going to move over here. This guy's got just enough room to be able to do one action point of movement. I hold up my finger and it gets blurred.
Yeah.
This guy's got one action point of movement, and then he can use the help action on Zephyrian.
Excellent. Yep, perfect. Dude kind
this
of like
one, though,
totes the line along the coast to get over by Zephyrian.
Literally. This one, though, unfortunately, isn't quite there to be able to do the help action and move. So that would cause opportunity attack, I believe, right here and to there. I feel like he should probably chill right there. But a cool thing about Soot Snout is he has got like a little fireball. It's like we taught him how to do the dragon's breath weapon in a way. So he's going to stand just barely back and do a little fireball.
Okay, there you go.
It's probably more like fire a bolt or.
Yep, yep, exactly. Relatively simple mechanics. Little ranged attack should be 1 damage at its base anyway,
and it was a 7 to hit.
Alright.
It's not a melee attack, so does flanking get considered at all?
That's a good question. I don't believe so. For the sake of mechanical balance, flank only applies to melee martial attacks.
Okay, good to
So
know.
we wouldn't necessarily get the flank bonus this time around, but so it was 7, correct, for the attack?
Yep, 7 to hit.
Okay, so Archon's got just enough, he's cognitive enough after his crazy attack and losing energy and stuff. He kind of looks around and sees this little soot snout just kind of like, inhaling this one big inhale and like spitting a fire loogie at him basically. And he kind of
Even worse.
Yeah, right. And he kind of just like manages to just hardly like dodge out of the way of it. But what's next?
So that was all 3 of the kobolds' turn, and it would technically be Zephyrion's turn if there's no enemies to get in the way.
Yeah, yep. So it'd be all Zephirion then.
Following up with a similar attack to what the dragon did, we're actually just going to do another breath weapon attack. And
Hey, let's go.
Since the dragon likely has breath weapon uses of its own, Zephyrion's going to use his breath weapon uses. Okay.
Absolutely.
Cool. Pulling it up one more time. And I still have my fire shield up just in case he wants to punch me.
Yes.
All right. So to be able to do my sonic breath weapon, it takes 2 AP. The base damage is 1, but if I make it a mortar instead of a line, it goes to 2. Yet again, we're going to empower that with 1 more MP, which I'll minus right now.
How is your MP looking right now?
I only have 3 left.
Okay. I was just
But
curious.
honestly, been pretty good with resources as far as like MP, not my health, but
Yeah. Okay, I forgot. So you spent MP for the dragon to do a breath weapon. Did you actually spend it from your character?
I did not spend it from my
Okay,
character. I
good.
spent it from the dragon.
Yep, excellent. You will not reach the mana spend limit applies to the dragon still, but the dragon will not run out of mana.
Nice. And yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So with the dragon breath weapon essentially having a base damage of 4 with the empowerment, I'm going to use my second breath ability to give it a 5 for the base damage. But I only have 2 breath weapon uses, and that's it for my breath weapon.
Okay, that's big. All right.
Yep. So base damage of 5, and now I got to roll against his mental defense, which I'm just assuming this guy is more beef than he is brain.
That makes sense. Maybe.
But,
I was just gonna say, in this form, how he's like shrunk down a little bit, he seems to be, he's just kind of like twitching and he's just behaving really strangely for sure. But maybe specifically in this instance, he might not be as dumb brute-ish, and he might have like a bit of his intelligence returned to him. But when he's in big dumb brute form, it definitely does seem as you're expecting. So we'll see how that plays out.
Well, I still have to roll against his mental defense to do a sonic attack, and I think it'd be a lot cooler to see him bleed out of his ears than blow up.
Yeah, fair enough.
So it's 2 AP to do it. I might as well empower the attack so that way I have advantage for this here.
Mm-hmm.
We know how well it went last time.
Right, just make it hit hard, hopefully.
Natural 20.
Let's go. Okay,
And
sweet.
good thing I did advantage too, because the first roll was 5.
Oh, yeah. All right.
So that's a natural 20 plus 4 for a 24 to hit against his mental defense.
Oh, man, that's big. That is a brutal plus the crit.
Nice.
So it's an extra 4 damage.
Extra 4? Dang, okay. 9
That's
damage.
big. Nine?
I did as much damage as the dragon. It
That
should be
is
proud.
so cool. Okay,
It was
and
like
that is huge.
The dragon was like, lead by example. And I was like, you're right.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, the dragon's like, watch this. And you're like, oh, you mean this? Okay, so basically you just kind of like, in the, like almost like grappling, like just kind of like intimate melee combat situation going on there. You just kind of like lurch your head up and basically just like launch this, again, just like distortion of air. It kind of just like exists, and then it just like plummets down with an intense sound as smashes into Archon. You see him just kind of like hold his head out of, agony. That is big damage. The Archon kind of just like looks up angrily, and he's still like around. He's still kicking, but he's taken a lot of damage. Like he is bloodied technically.
Okay, that's what I like to hear.
Yeah. So
I also remembered something.
Mhm.
It may not change anything, but he is technically flanked +1 from the dragon.
Yes, you're definitely right.
I don't think that would change anything. A 24 to a 26.
Right. It wouldn't.
I just figured I'd say it.
But yeah, for sure. Good call out. Also, I think Archon's still baned too for when his attacks come into play again, which I already forgot happened once, but we'll remember now.
Right. And I also had the help die from the other kobold that I didn't even use for the attack, because the one kobold was able to had exactly 20 feet to move, and then it could use the help die when it got to me.
Do you want to throw that in the mix real quick?
If you don't mind.
Yep.
Okay.
No, we should for sure. We have not moved on yet.
Well, not terrible. So we got 24, 26, 28.
That is exactly enough to bring it to brutal +1. So it's actually 1 more damage, making it 10 damage altogether. Dude, that was worth it.
Yeah, the power of friendship.
That was worth it. Nice. That's sick. I'm glad you remembered. Cool. Man, that was a total of 10 damage dealt right there. How awesome is that?
Right?
Okay.
And where that dude is standing has got to be like 3 feet deeper, I swear.
Yeah. Yeah. You see, I would even say that like the star that's in the crater still is kind of like almost being like bounced around a little bit in the crater. There's a lot going on there. And yeah, Archon's just getting blasted.
So that should... Oh, wait, no. I have one more action point, actually. Can I take the dodge action and then end my turn?
Yeah, absolutely. Dodge, okay. You could help. You could, yeah, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I think I'll dodge. I don't think the dragon needs help.
Okay, sounds good. Dodge should be safe. Very good. Okay, so is that it for your side? Are we at the top again?
Yep, that should be it.
Okay, but so we started with the dragon, then went to Archon, then did the rest of your side, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's actually the dragon up again now.
Oh, dang, okay.
Just because it kind of worked out that way. So, let's do that.
How large is the dragon in comparison? Is it like real scale?
Yeah, it's about right. So the image there is about right. So it's, shoot, what is that? It's like roughly like 25 to 30 feet, in its area.
Okay.
Its size would be like well past large, like huge or something probably. Okay.
How would you consider this playing out? I want the dragon to grapple him, but eat him. So I want grapple, restrained, and then digested.
Okay.
Is there a way that could possibly happen?
There's definitely a way. So it'd basically just be a grapple. It'd basically just be the actions to make that happen. So it'd be like 1 action point to grapple, 1 action point to restrain, and then I might do like 1 more action point to literally like swallow him. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I think that's what I have 3 to do altogether. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
The dragon's just gonna take 1 giant chomp out of this guy. The first one is gonna be a grapple check, so I'm gonna empower that one. So this one's gonna be 2 AP. Grapple and then restrain is likely 1 AP, and then that one would have to be 2 AP, and then to swallow would likely have to be another one with compounding AP.
Yeah, but they can be separate actions in case the first or second don't work like you want to, kind of thing. So
yeah,
but yeah, it would be that.
He doesn't have to be eaten in the first round.
Yeah, right. But yeah, it would work like that. So basically, just start with the grapple, and as long as that goes well, it's kind of just like 1 AP to take it a step further each time, kind of thing.
Okay, definitely. So going with the grapple, and I'm gonna empower that to get advantage.
Okay. Also, this is an athletics check for the dragon, so it's going to have a +6 to its roll.
Oh boy.
That's big.
21.
Oh, nice. Okay.
For a dragon chomp.
All right. Archon is only going to get a +2 to his roll. Oh my gosh,
a
the natural 20.
That's
interesting.
Crazy.
That is interesting. Okay, so that's crazy. Okay, so basically the dragon lurches forward and like literally mouth around Archon's body, but Archon's got just enough juice left to kind of just like pump arcane energy through his body,
See, the dragon is
off
actually missing one tooth, and it's
wiggles right out of there. But hardly, almost in cheating-like fashion, is able to defend from the grapple and remains ungrappled.
that is nuts. I roll a 21, and then you roll a natural 20 plus 2 to get 22.
That's not even fair.
That's hilarious.
Friggin' dragon.
Well, it had an empowered grapple, so I think it should just take a normal just punch right at it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So a melee attack from the dragon, correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool. That will have a +5 to its roll.
Okay. And just a normal melee attack, I want to empower it so it's not disadvantaged, so that'll be the final 2 AP.
Okay, sounds good.
With a 3.
Okay. Man, Archon's just hardly able to, like, he wiggles out of the first grapple and kind of just, like, swipes at, you know, the dragon's attack coming at him. And the, you know, his power with the arcane energy is just enough to kind of swipe the attack away.
Just a slippery seal.
Yeah, just hardly manages to save himself, really. But I will say he's fighting with, like, just, like, maniacal aggression, right? And it doesn't even look smooth. He's kind of just like, you know, I don't know, he doesn't look right. Dang, okay. So that's it for the dragon then?
Yep. And it should be right on back to Archon, I think.
Okay. Archon is going to kind of like use a minor action to actually basically just like quickly reaches over and he like swipes his foot back behind him just to like kick the star again. And in doing so, you see him kind of like leech more power out of the star, and it kind of brings him back into his large, frenzied, ugly state. It doesn't necessarily seem like it's healing him in any way, though. Like, it's just, in fact, it almost like distorts him even further, and he seems to be almost like losing himself a little bit, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
But in doing that, he's like fighting off everything from this dragon, and he looks over at you. I'll take care of you in a moment, and seems to just like focus his efforts at the dragon. And he is going to make just a recklessly empowered attack. He's going to use all of his action points to, again, just try to like just throw as much of this arcane energy into the dragon as possible, as he kind of just like, you know, reaches out his hand with like, you know, just throwing energy. So I'm going to have him make that attack roll with, oh boy, shoot, it doesn't need to do more damage. I'm going to have him make that attack roll with advantage twice and 1 extra damage. So here we go. A dirty 20 and 11. Okay.
I mean, it's not bad.
I said advantage twice, so that'd be 1 more actually with a 21. Okay.
So he pays off.
Yeah. So the dragon's defense is 15, so it's a heavy hit plus 1 extra damage. Okay, so basically the way this is going to work, so Archon, in doing this, again, just throws all of this energy that's contorting his body into the dragon. In doing so, Archon actually completely shrinks down to normal size again, and you see that every time this happens, his body is more and more almost like mutilated by the energy that he's abusing. But this arcane energy going towards the dragon has a base damage of 10, plus 1 from a heavy hit, plus 1 from an empowerment. So it's going to do 12 damage towards the dragon. And so basically you see the dragon, literally there's just like this hole that's just shot straight through the dragon, and the dragon's just like wailing in pain and all that. But technically the dragon is like still standing and like still fighting, and he's just like, Zephyrian, I will not give up on you. And you venture to guess that this dragon should be done, like it should be toast, and it's just like pure willpower. This thing's got maybe a couple actions left in it kind of thing, but it can't sustain this, you know what I mean?
Is it like a flesh and blood dragon, or does it just have like a hole in the middle of it? Like a ghost.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It is seemingly flesh and blood. Like this dragon actually does live in the flesh.
Okay.
So basically, yeah, exactly. So basically this dragon should be cooked. And it's literally just like through sheer willpower, it will have one turn left, kind of thing. Archon seems very happy with himself, but also, like I said, he just seems more and more like contorted and messed up every time he's like using the energy of the star. And he kind of just like looks back at you and he's just like, now you're next. That's it for Archon.
Okay. Trying to think of a pun for his name, but I can't. I've got to get him. All right. So with all these different kobolds around in the area, I'm actually not the only person now. They're not the only people now that can get blown away in one hit. It might be good for them to get some distance. Can I have this one right here? Double click. This one right here.
Mm-hmm.
Give the help action to Zephyrian and then try to swim away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
I forgot to be doing this. Is the help action to help attack?
Yes, the help action is to help Zephyrian attack.
Yep, absolutely.
And then after he does that, he's going to hop into the river, or maybe even make it to the little bridge over here, depending on how much movement that takes.
Yeah, I'd say he could take, it is like technically one space between that and the bridge, so he could hop to the bridge and then, move from there kind of thing.
Okay, that's probably as far as he should go anyway. I don't want him to get too far away.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what he's going to do.
Okay, that sounds good. So you've got one help action so far.
Yes.
Now
Soot Snout here is going to do almost the same thing. He's going to move in this area for 5 feet. Give Zephyrian the help action and then use the rest of his movement to get onto the bridge.
I like it. I actually really like it. It's almost like everyone kind of just like, okay, like here you go. Like you take this, I'm getting out of here because who knows what's happening next kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, right. That just leaves Nimbletoe right over here, and he's just going to be running across the shore, maybe? No, he's going to run and use the path, actually. Go all the way over here for his 2 action points, and he'll meet up with the guys eventually.
There you go. And he's got a bunch of cover behind the shrubbery there, too, so that's good.
Yes. If we die, he can tell our story.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the end of the kobold's turn. And
Okay.
It should be right into Zephyrian then.
All right, let's do it.
The very first one, I'm going to use something I don't think I've used pretty much I think I might have used it once this campaign, but I'm just going to use my net.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just going to toss a net over his head. Dude's just real angry, just going berserk. Nothing takes care of that like a wet blanket.
Yeah, that's right. How fun. Okay, cool. Is that an attack check or like a contested thing like a grapple?
Yep. The net says, when you make an attack check with a net, the target makes a contested physical save against you. The success, the target is restrained until it's freed. A creature can spend 1 AP to make a DC10 might check, and success, it can free itself or another creature from its reach.
Okay.
It only has to deal 1 slashing damage to the net to end its effect as well.
Okay, I gotcha. So basically,
So a
it's
contested physical save to put him in the net. And I have a help action twice for this if it would be considered as my attack on him.
Yes, I would definitely say so. Okay, cool. So his physical save is actually going to have a little bit lower of an additive to it as well compared to normal. So he's going to roll a 13.
Sounds good. So 20 and 2 of those. So I got a 22.
Okay, nice.
Oh, actually, no. 21 minus 1 for my stuff.
Oh, sure. No problem. Okay, so he definitely failed the check then with a 13.
Nice. Then I got him all wrapped up in that net with only 1 AP.
There you go.
And he's restrained, not grappled. So
Nice.
he's not necessarily able to do much at all, right?
Yeah. He pretty much has to either like attack the net to get out or, spend an action point similarly to like wrestle the net off of him. So, all right.
Perfect. That's what I wanted to see.
So you pretty much guaranteed took away at least an action point of his, which is pretty cool.
I would also like to use 2 AP and 1 MP to cast Sleep on this guy.
Ooh, okay. Wow, fun. Okay, how exciting.
So I can do it 15 spaces away and it lasts for 1 minute. The spell sends creatures into a magical slumber and you attempt to force creatures within 4 spaces of a point you choose within range to fall into a magical sleep. It takes a DC 10 spell check And if it succeeds, I can use 10 HP, but if it's 5 each success, I get an extra 2 HP. So if it's 15, it's 12. If it's 20, it's 14.
Okay.
Depending on how much health this guy has, I'm gonna see if I can knock him out.
Okay. Are you do you have anything left? Are you empowering it in any way, or are you just kind of casting it as is and letting it rock?
So it costs 2 AP. I feel like, I might as well. I used the dodge action last time and I didn't need it, so I'm gonna just empower it to give it advantage.
All right, sounds good. The best offense is a good defense, as they say, right?
Very true. I got a 10 plus 4, I believe, since it's an attack check or spell check. Yep. So 14.
14.
Didn't exactly get the plus 5, but still got 10 HP down from whatever he's got, if he has 10 HP.
Okay. So basically, when you cast this spell, you realize the magic hits Archon. Archon looks up at you, and you just kind of like make eye contact because this could be it technically. This could be it for battle. You make eye contact, and he looks at you, and you see like his eyes kind of like flutter for a second, and then you hear just like this loud cracking noise as he just like grits his teeth so hard that you like hear and see his teeth break in his mouth. He does not fall asleep.
No, that sucks. All right, I figured it'd be enough. But you know what? That's okay.
No spoilers, but it's pretty close.
I figured. But that's all right. Before he gets to do anything, he's still got to deal with one more thing.
Yeah.
As always.
Yep. Dang, okay.
He's still in a net.
Yeah, he sure is. Okay, shoot. So, was that all the resources for Zephyrian?
Yep, that's going to be the end of his turn. And that should send it back to the top of the round.
Yes, correct. At the top of the round, you have this absolutely fatally wounded dragon that has 1 turn left in him.
Okay.
Before he...
1 turn as in 1 AP like on Death's Door, or 1 full turn?
1 full turn.
Okay.
But yeah, you venture to guess this will be all the dragon can do. You know what I mean? This is what it's got left, and then its willpower will surely wane.
So one thing that's nice about him currently being in a net, it's already restrained, and I just need to eat this guy.
Yes. Okay. So at this point, I will say the dragon. Basically, I'm just gonna have it be like a 2 action point situation now, where it's like 1 for the grapple, which is going to be the contested check is going to be at disadvantage and -1.
Okay.
And then the other action point, there will be no contest whatsoever, but Archon can be swallowed at that point.
All right. So, gonna empower it again to hopefully be able to just get this dragon to land a hit.
Kind of just guarantee it, right?
Yeah. I accidentally just rolled the 1, so I'm gonna roll 1 more.
Yep.
There we go. Okay. 19.
Okay. All right. It's contested checks.
Yes.
A 5.
And I believe the dragon had a +6 to its might, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So 25.
Nice. Against a 5. So Archon fails miserably as he is. He tries for a second to sort of defend, but really he's a sit and duck in this net. So that is 1 action point for the dragon. It manages to completely Archon is inside the dragon's mouth at this point, and it'd just be 1 more action point to quite literally put him away in the body of the dragon.
Definitely. And it was 1 action point plus the empowerment, so we got 2. And I want to do.
Right.
It'll likely be to do another attack. It'll probably be compounding, so I'll do it empowered to make sure it's not at disadvantage.
Okay. Yep. This one, there's actually not even going to be any contest, so it'll just burn the action point, and then that'll be it.
Okay. It's a dirty 20 to see if this dragon can actually swallow down the poor taste.
Yep, so he absolutely does. He absolutely does. So Archon's just you hardly see limbs sticking out of the dragon's mouth, basically, right? netted limbs at that. And then you see the dragon just kind of like lurch its head back and just make this big gulping sound as the muffled like screams and, you know, of Archon are heard from inside this dragon. And cool. Does the dragon have any action points left?
I don't really believe so. Technically, maybe it should have one left because it used the two at the beginning and then it was just the one. So I guess it could have one thing left to do.
Okay. I will say, like, you can tell, I mean, Archon is seemingly, you can actually like hear it like screaming from inside the dragon. You know what I mean? So like, you can tell that Archon is technically, you have this like uncomfortability that Archon is not necessarily not a threat anymore. I'm not sure how that'll go, but so what do you want to do with the dragon's last AP?
Can the dragon swallow a burp, but it's a fire breath?
That's fun. Yeah, sure. I like that. That's great. I like that a lot.
A breath weapon, but it's...
Yeah.
And then that was it.
Yeah, that's fun. Okay, yeah, we will do something like that.
Okay, so to be able to do the breath weapon, it'd be a save against his mental defense since this is a sonic dragon.
Okay, so how about this? I don't see how, I don't see how it'd even be possible that Archon could defend from this. So I might just make this one an auto hit, but I am going to remove the extra 3 damage that the dragon was getting on everything.
Sure.
Okay, so let's do it like that. So we don't even need to roll. Like basically, the dragon is just going to like, you know, look at you and pretty much just be like, whatever's left, you can do this. And, you know, just kind of like screams and literally just like, there's just like this distorted air in front of the dragon. It almost just like makes this ball and then just like, you know, just like globs this ball out of the air. Dang, so what should the damage be for this then?
You know, that's a good question. For breath weapon, it's usually 2 AP to be able to do it, but it could end up being like a half-powered breath weapon or the fact that it just didn't blow out. So we could just do like the base damage of the breath weapon.
I gotcha.
Especially since like how you do the breath weapon affects like damage as well if it's a line or mortar.
Right. Well, yeah, okay. So let's just do the base damage of the breath weapon automatically, as it is an auto hit, which is cool, but there's like no extra damage possibilities necessarily. So let's just do like the base damage, and Archon is guaranteed to take that. So what should that be?
So the base damage for that would be 1, but if it's a specific way, then it's 2.
Oh, okay.
Like
I'd probably do it hit. I like doing it in my mind for whatever reason, it's kind of similar to the mortar way.
Yeah, it's almost like directly hitting.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we're gonna go with the mortar, and if we wanted, the dragon actually hasn't used any MP this turn. It's just been doing physical things, so it could empower it to make the breath weapon from 2 to 4.
Yeah, I like it. That is exactly what the dragon would do. I 100% agree.
And depending on how many uses the dragon has of the breath weapon, it could use the second wind, but I'm not 100% sure how many uses it has, because using it this time will be the 3rd use, and if it used second wind, it'll be the 4th use for this dragon.
Okay. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I will say that the dragon itself is like, it's full-blooded dragon. You know what I'm saying? This thing can use its breath weapon nonstop. Like, it's sick. It's you know, that's its gimmick. so no issue there.
Okay. So we could boost the base damage of it all the way up to 5 as long as it's empowered by MP. Okay.
Let's do exactly that. So basically you see the dragon just kind of like form this insane, it's just like almost like a whirring, you know, just like buzzing ball of energy, of sonic energy. And it just gulps it down, and you hear it's surprisingly loud, just like an internal burp sound almost, right? And right. Archon just like wail out in pain from inside this dragon. And the dragon looks at you, and again, it's just kind of like nods, and then the dragon just collapses.
I knew him well. I like the big X.
Giant X.
Yeah.
Inappropriately large X. Okay, dang.
You know, if it's the end of the big O dragon's turn, that brings us to Archon.
Okay, so now, let's see here. So Archon is basically, well, he's over here, but let me fix this real quick. There. So now he's just part of the map layer. Okay. So Archon is in the tummy of this dragon. Archon is going to spend every single action point he has.
Was the net broken by the dragon's teeth or stomach fluid or sonicness?
Honestly, I guess you wouldn't even really know. But as far as meta knowledge goes, I'm going to say that the net is broken, but it's going to take every single action point Archon has to do anything to escape this dragon.
Yeah, I feel like a dragon's belly might be a little harder to get out of.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So basically, I'm going to let Archon make a check to escape, like a grapple, more or less.
Okay.
But I'm going to make the DC be 22. And so he's just going to empower the heck out of this check to try to get out of the dragon. That's going to be all he does this turn, pretty much.
We have forgotten a few times, but he is baned.
Oh my gosh. Heck. Okay. So here we go. He's going to make 3 checks. Wait, it's a check, advantage, advantage, advantage. So 4 rolls of the dice just to try to escape this dragon, looking for a 22, which he'll literally have to get a dirty 20, or he'll have to get a natural 20. Excuse me. He'll have to get a natural 20 to be able to do it.
Yep. And he'll still technically be under it because of the bane, but he did it because it's natural.
All right. Yeah, okay. So let's just see. In 4 rolls, can Archon get a natural 20? He cannot.
He got
That's
really
hilarious.
Close the first time.
He did. He got really close, as close as he can get.
Yeah.
And that is really
minus
funny.
the D4 to whatever he got as well.
Right. So none of those actually cut it. So basically you just hear like Archon just wrestling around on the dragon, and then you see like small bits of just like the dragon's flesh is just like pierced randomly, and just like spurts of like pink arcane energy are kind of like flying out. But none of them are enough for Archon to actually escape the dragon. You venture to guess it might be easier for him if he gets another opportunity. But for now, he's all sorts of restrained up in the dragon. So now what?
So, okay. I think it would be really cool if I could use my telekinesis to long range grapple him. But I'm not sure how well that would work since he's in the belly of a dragon.
I gotcha. Oof, yeah, I don't know.
It might be kind of cool to just like keep him there. Like if he's currently getting crushed, I'm like, stay crushed, you know? But
I gotcha.
If I need line of sight to do it, then I can totally figure out something else.
I mean, man, I don't know. Give me, I would say it'd be, I don't want to say it's impossible, but it's gonna be really difficult. So let's just see with like outside of action spent or anything, let's just have you roll a, like your, basically like a spell check to see if you can even manage something like that. And I'm gonna set the DC pretty stinking high at a 20, but not impossible. So we'll see.
Hey, might as well. All right. So my long range grapple for like combat telekinesis says you can target creatures within 5 spaces, and your size is considered medium for the purposes of the check. So they try to cover the bases for like the fact that it's a contested check.
Right.
It's funny, but it says I can also grapple up to 2 creatures at a time. Doesn't necessarily like, come into play here. But
that is awesome though.
Right. Okay.
So we'll see if it's even something that Zephyrian can pull off to start with before the checks to make it happen. So freely, let's just get a spell check to see.
No.
Of course, a natural 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't exactly roll in the middle,
Right. So instead of wasting any action points to make it happen, basically I'm going to say that you are able to kind of assess if it's even possible. Like the thought comes to your mind and you like almost try it for a second and you're just like, I can't visualize him well enough to be able to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, his body's changed way too many times.
Yeah, that is true.
Okay. Man, I don't really want to like help him out by digging into the dragon.
Right.
So let's see.
Well, I will say, so you've got your kobold friends are, they're there, they're hanging out. They're just, right now, they're kind of just away from the mess, just in case anything crazy happens.
Right.
But for the first time, you're not immediately distracted by the threat of Archon in front of you. And you can actually look over like into the crater and you see this like glowing pinkish star there. And there's like a part of you that like looks at this weird meteorite like space chunk. And it's like, it's really interesting. You're like almost drawn to it in, you know, like a very Lord of the Ringsy type of way with the ring. Like you're like, whoa, that thing looks awesome. You know, you're like, I kind of want that. And then you like feel a tugging at your soul from the token of, what's it called? The sigil of balance that you have with you. And it kind of like pulls your urges away from you. And then you just feel like responsibility instead, you know? So you're just like, oh, right. That's why I'm here. So you see the star there next to you.
Looks interesting.
Yeah. It's like the first time in the mess of combat that it's like there. And, you know, that's a thing. So that's something too.
So I have the ability Mind Blast. And you can spend 1 AP to physically assault a creature's mind within 10 spaces. Do you think instead of just trying to like physically do something to him, I could mentally mess with his head?
Yeah. I think that'd be a little easier for sure.
Because like I can hear where he's coming from.
Yeah.
It's like the dude's right there.
Yeah, and you can even see like spots of, you know, like energy blasting out of the dragon as he's trying to escape. So like, yeah, I would say that he's actually kind of giving away his position a little bit.
Okay. That'd be
I'm
awesome.
gonna give him a +2 to his defense as like a cover situation basically, but it's definitely doable. You could hit him.
Sounds good to me. So the cool thing about Mind Blast is it's only 1 AP and it has like 6 different ways that you could empower it.
Yeah.
Is there specifically... No, actually it says you can choose multiple effects or the same effect multiple times. That's actually super crazy. Okay. So I'm going to do the Mind Blast. I want to empower it so that way I can have advantage. So that'll be 2 AP.
Okay, very
And
good.
you can also spend 1 or more MP up to your combat mastery before you make the spell check to choose 2 additional AP enhancements.
Oh.
So I'm going to do 2 AP to make it advantage. I'm going to use 1 MP, which is my second to last MP.
Oh, nice.
And get 2 more combat masteries, which is going to double up on rank, psychic damage. So plus 2 more damage.
Okay.
So 2 AP, 1 MP for a total of 3 damage so far.
Okay.
If it hits, of course, with advantage.
Right.
I do feel like I should probably empower it with just about everything I got.
I think that'd be pretty cool. See if you can just like Archon's, you know, just like stuck in this dragon, just wrestling around like, I gotta get out of here, this is gross.
Absolutely.
And just light him up.
So with all of my AP and 1 MP, I'm gonna make it a base damage of 5.
Excellent. Okay, very cool. With advantage.
17 plus 4, 21.
Excellent.
Against his mental defense.
Excellent. In this case, that is a heavy hit. So it's another extra damage.
Even better.
So shoot, so that was adding up to 5 damage plus the heavy hit, right?
Yes, to make 6.
Dang. Okay. So basically, the bits of energy that are blasting out from the dragon as Archon's trying to like escape and everything else, right? You kind of like focus on that. You can feel that the attack lands as you like, you know, you'd like pierce Archon's mind. And for a brief moment, you hear even more just like wailing and like energy stops escaping the dragon. You know, it's kind of just like a halt.
Right.
And man, Archon is very messed up inside this dragon.
Well, it is his turn, so let's see what it can do.
Okay. Did you want anything? Could you imagine anything to do with the kobolds at all?
Oh, not really. I feel like Nimbletoe all the way out here probably would have joined up with the group about right there. But other than that, just peanut gallery.
Okay, yeah, they're kind of just hanging out. Waiting to see how this unfolds.
Yes.
So one more time, Archon attempting to just escape the prison that is this dragon. I'm going to lower the DC a little bit for him. Before it was a 22. I would say that he made some headway, but nowhere near enough to escape the first time. I'm going to bring the DC for him down to an 18, and he's still going to burn, just by default, all the action points to do everything he can to escape this dragon right now.
Right.
And he still has Bane on, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we need to actually use that this time. Okay, so we'll just take his highest check and subtract a D4 from it, basically, if it comes to that.
Sounds good to me.
I was doing that before +2. Okay. So here we go. It'll be 4 rolls altogether, and the highest of them is the one we pick. 10, 19, a natural 20, and the 15. Okay. The natural 20, I guess for this instance, we'll pretty much just ignore Bane again, unfortunately, as the natural 20 works both ways, of course. And so basically there is, again, just like ripping and, just like, it's just not a pretty sight. But basically, Archon manages to more or less just see like a shred of the arcane energy just kind of like almost just like rip through the wall of the dragon. And finally, Archon kind of just like steps out, we'll say something like that. He kind of like peels his way off of like the wing from the dragon as he like actually steps out, but he has no actions left, and he looks super messed up. Like from every source possible, he looks messed up from taking damage in the fight, expending all of this crazy, like corrupted energy basically. He's all sorts of ganked, but there he is in the flesh, meets eyes with you again, and basically he's just like, I will not fail. But that's it for his turn.
Man, this guy just won't go down.
He won't. But boy, is he close. It's sad, really, looking at him at this point.
Well, I feel like Sootsnout, Glimmerclaw, all of these guys, they're still like not necessarily having to get in the like crowd.
Sure.
But since they do technically go before him, can they give him like a grit or something so that way they can if there's a save that comes up, he'll be set and ready? Yeah.
As far as grit goes, it can actually be used reactionarily, even.
Okay, nice. Then, yeah, they're just going to save their actions to see if there's something that they can react with.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, cool. That'll bring us all the way back over to you then, I suppose.
Yep. This is a one-on-one now.
It is the ultimate showdown
of ultimate destiny. So would you say from this spot right here, does he currently have cover by the dragon?
I would say that he probably has half cover, at least. So I'd say you have half cover where you are right there. If you step out from to be like on this side of the dragon, it's probably open and like fair game at that point, not necessarily any cover.
Okay.
For either of you.
That's pretty much what I'm looking for. I just want a direct hit.
Yep.
Definitely. So I'm right on the edge of the dirt here, just trying to, I guess, stay within range of the star.
Yeah.
Putting myself between him and the star, more or less.
I see. Yep. And, gatekeeping.
Exactly. I'm going to go ahead and, just try to insult him like the best way that I can. I want to look at him like the last thing he said to me was like, I will not fail.
Yeah.
And I need something smart that's like, well, failure's your middle name,
Wow, what a one-liner.
That's right.
Perfect.
He's got good charisma. I don't. He knows it.
Yeah. So basically, Zephyrian says something super epic one-liner. It's like, no, you suck.
That's right.
All right.
And he's going to just do one more Mind Blast. It's going to be a repeat of what we did last turn. Empowerment for 5 base damage. And using my last mana point.
Oh, very fun. Very cool.
Hoping I can blow this dude's head off,
Right, yeah. And he won't have the benefit of cover in any way. So that's, yeah, okay. Sounds good. I would even say that his mental defense or mystical defense, like his mind is kind of just messed up right now too. So his defenses are lowered a bit too from all of this chaos that he's taken in.
So I got an 11.
Okay.
Yeah. Funny enough, it's a 7 + 4 for my spell attack.
So it actually did end up 11. Perfect. Okay. Where this creature's mental defense has been a bit, mystical defense, excuse me, has been a bit faltered from all of the manipulation of the energy and everything else from the star. He's kind of just like losing his crap a little bit, to be honest. So he's like losing his mind too. And you're able to kind of just like get a hold of his mind even easier. 11 is his mystical defense. So it does hit.
Okay.
And so what was the damage again?
So it was a 5 base damage to hit him with all the empowerments.
Okay. So earlier when you tried to put him to sleep, he had 15 HP left.
Okay.
He has taken 11 damage since then, so he has exactly 4 HP left. And this attack will be enough to send him out. So, what does that look like?
I kind of want to like blow a hole straight through the middle of him. You know, it may be mind blast, but it's from my mind, not his.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I like that. Okay.
So it's just going to be... I also like to think of like the Scion's abilities as like not even having like a shape or form. You know how like the Kamehameha has this big blue blast, but the Scion would probably have like that like just air bubble that doesn't look like anything, and the only like we see it because we see movie effects.
Yes. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Very cool.
That's what it would look like. Just big transparent wave moving at him, and then just blows a hole straight through him.
Yeah. And I'll even say like, so there's like some conversation happening kind of between you two. And he just looks up at you and he's, you know, he sees you doing something and he's just like, he's just lost his crap, right? So he's just like, no, like that's not enough. It won't be enough. You can't stop me. And then literally like his chest just like blows out the back of him. And he's just like standing there, looks up at you and you see like all this arcane energy that's been like coursing through him. Just kind of like slowly just like dissipates through the hole in his chest. And he's just a evil old withered man and he just falls down.
That's what you get for killing my new best friend, the Swamp Hillbilly.
Yep, exactly. The Swamp Hillbilly, though dead, just puts a thumbs up.
That's what I was hoping.
Okay. So like all the kobolds are kind of just like, you know, they're just, they look over and they're like, I guess that's over. And the star is just like pulsing there in the crater. Out of combat. What do you do now?
Well, I would like to see if there's like how big is the star? Or is there something that's like specifically doing?
Right.
Is it pulsating in its place? Or, you know, like, is it approachable?
So basically, it is kind of like pulsating a little bit. And it's pretty much just like a big hunk of like jagged space metal almost. And it's like the size of like a basketball or something, you know, like the size of a ball, not huge, but it's like a decent sized thing there. And it is just kind of like slowly pulsing with color. And again, you can feel the urge that might corrupt many people, but you're also protected, it seems, from the sigil of balance.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just hanging out. So
if it's basketball sized, how heavy would you say it is?
Probably like, it'd be the size of just like a big piece of metal or it'd be the weight of just like a big piece of metal that is that size. So like pretty heavy, but you know, you could do it. You could lift it and do stuff with it. Okay. It's like a big cast iron pan kind of weight. You know what I mean? Well,
I was trying to think if I could lift it with my telekinesis.
Oh, okay. What's supposed to be the limit for that?
That's just 5 pounds, and definitely not 5 pounds.
Yeah, you might have to do it physically if you wanted to move it, kind of thing.
Yeah. So I have like general supplies for like camping and like setting up stuff, and there's also a camp right next to me. Mm-hmm. I want to see if I can wrap it under a blanket, and if like the blanket catches fire. Is it still hot, even though it landed a couple days ago?
I gotcha. You could take cloth, and if you attempt to wrap it, it seems to be fine. Like you can wrap it itself, you know?
Okay. Yeah, if I can wrap it in a blanket, I'd just put it in a blanket and probably like tie it up on a stick. Kind of like how they do for like in movies when they hog tie somebody and put them on a stick and then they're just like hanging there. That's the meteor.
Okay, cool. At any point, are you like actively trying not to physically touch it, or do you feel like you would physically touch it?
I feel like I'm trying not to touch it because I don't want to turn into like a pink goo monster.
Right.
But I do kind of still want to see what happens when things touch it, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Well, wrapping it up, I mean, like, it's a pretty heavy thing. So, like, wrapping it up, there's like a chance even that you would accidentally skim it, technically. So I might even have you make a check to make sure that you don't do that real quick. It'd be a lower DC. And I don't know, I guess it'd be like some sort of maybe agility based check. If you want to pick a skill that makes sense for that, feel free. Otherwise, just an agility check. But the DC is only like an 8, but you never know.
Okay. Yeah, honestly. 4?
Okay. So there's a few times you're kind of like prying it up using things that aren't your own like limbs, right? And there's just like one time where it's just like you know, it just slips off of like whatever tools you're using and just kind of like hardly grazes your foot, right? And in the moment that it does, you like basically everything that's just kind of like around you in the world just like ceases to exist. Basically everything is just like you're in your own world, and you're almost the same way that you were transported to like your mental places when you were going through the trials.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same situation where you're just like in emptiness, and there's just like a haze, there's just like a fog kind of slowly rolling around you, and you just hear this like very echoey kind of like feminine voice. And it's basically, it just like asks you, it's just like, how do you want things to turn out? And you venture to guess that this, when it says things, it's like all of reality. Like, what do you want happening? Kind of thing.
Saphirian is actually very intelligent and charismatic as well. I know I'm playing the opposite of myself, but
Stop.
But he's probably gonna like look at this situation as if it's kind of a trap in a way. You know, whenever somebody promises you the world, you should probably ask why.
Okay.
So he's gonna say something to the effect of, I don't want to know how it turns out, but I want it to be okay.
Okay. Cool. Interesting. And almost like you're like putting an input in some sort of like, you know, command prompt computer or something. Mm-hmm. It basically is just like it's like in your mind, there's almost like a pop-up window. It's like, are you sure? But not, you know, it's like vocally, this entity or whatever is basically just like, you prefer the path of wisdom. You just stay hands off and let things play out.
Yeah. If I'm going to figure something out, I want to figure it out for myself, or know that it's like verifiable knowledge. You know what I mean? Like if it came down from, let's say, the heavens of where my mother fell, I may not be able to trust that type of knowledge or source, or maybe they could be leading me astray, something like that, you know? So general like distrust of stuff like that. So he wants to, if they're trying to give him something, he wants to like guarantee that there's no like gotcha in a way, or a consequence, because he doesn't want something with a consequence. So he just wants everything to be okay, but he doesn't want anything in general. Okay. So like everything could stay the same, but he doesn't want to ask for anything.
Okay.
I guess, you know. I
get you. Okay. So here's the real question. There's like two ways this could play out. Does Zephyrian specifically want everything to stay the same and like not manipulate anything? Or does Zephyrian want whatever is the most like neutral, normal thing to happen? You know what I mean? Because they're almost like two different things.
Okay.
So which would you pick between the two?
I guess if you're saying like this timeline is like kind of screwed because like countless tragedies have happened throughout his life, and he could possibly fix stuff like that. He might want something like that, but man, have I seen every single Back to the Future.
Yeah, I get it.
You know, if Zephyrian has the ability to alter a reality, he would like to alter the reality of his mother. He never wanted her to fall.
Okay. So you were going through your plan of just like being the responsible character that you needed to be. You were like, I'm going to take care, I'm going to be gentle with this star. I'm going to take care to make sure that it's like out of hands of, you know, and everything else. And you start enacting your plan of like gathering it so that you actually have it and you can take care of it or protect it or whatever. And there's just a small slip. You touch it hardly. it brings you into this whole thing where it's like you basically like you're the creator of your own reality at this point. It's like what happens? But even more than that, you're the creator of reality, not your own reality. And you like understand this. You're almost like working with this entity, with this power. You're like conversing with it back and forth. You're like almost getting to know it and understand how it works before anything happens. And it doesn't feel like you're going to be bamboozled per se. Like you are communing with this thing, if you know what I mean. So
yeah.
When like very slowly, once you've kind of like made your decision comfortable enough, very slowly, the darkness around you kind of just like dissipates into the darkness of the night sky. And next to you, you see you're kind of just like, you're camped out in you're like in your normal like nomadic sleeping area. The kobolds are not necessarily with you. You look around and you recognize where you are. You are in the first town that you started. You are in the town of Dorinth, and you're resting, and you kind of just like wake up and look around, and there is one thing that's very different. You look down, you don't see the amulet, and you're kind of looking around, and there is one like kind of like silly loud clanging that happens all of a sudden, and you look over to see there's a small like cooking fire set up near you, and you see your own mother, and she drops a pan from the fire, and then like quickly like kind of just like shrugs and like looks over at you, and she's just like, I'm so sorry. You're like dead asleep, and she's just putting away some cooking supplies basically, and that basically she just looks at you and she's just like, I did not mean to drop that. I'm so sorry. You were asleep and, you know, just doing motherly things.
I'd probably say something like, you're always so clumsy, and, you know, maybe give her a hug or something.
Yeah. And she kind of just like laughs, and she's like, yeah. After this quick conversation with your mother, right? And she kind of like picks up the pots and pans and things like that. And you see in the distance, you see one figure kind of like walking up towards you guys too. And it is your father as well. And he walks up and kind of like just like sits down and takes off whatever the bulkiest piece of armor is first, basically, like maybe like the torso, like plate mail kind of thing. Just kind of like takes that off and like sets it down. And he's just like, well, the contract's done. And she looks at him, and she just kind of like smiles, and like she starts crying a little bit. And he's like, yeah, they said we can leave. And at that moment, they're both just like smiling, and it's just like, this is like a huge moment for them. And basically your dad looks at you, right? And he's just like, that means we're not hunted anymore, kid. It's a big deal.
Just tears in his eyes, like, that's awesome. That's actually really, really cool.
Yeah.
So many questions, like the contract. What did you have to do? You
Yeah,
know, like
right. And he's just like, oh, come on, nothing too crazy. You know, you trust your pops. He's been your moral compass your whole life, basically. You know, both of your parents really, and maybe there'll be a time where there's some very specific elaboration on what that means. Like, who knows? Maybe this isn't the last of this universe. I don't know.
Hey, we'll have to see.
But yeah, I'd call it a wrap for this campaign. Holy moly. Okay, do you want to give some sort of a send-off?
So, thanks so much for watching, everybody. We really appreciate you sticking around with our duo campaign here with DC20. If you guys do want to check out the next DC20 things we've got, you're going to have to stay tuned. But thank you so much for watching again. If you did like this, make sure to leave it down in the comments what you might improve, or maybe where we're going with this later. But we'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.
See you around.